Hello and welcome to the Comic Conspiracy Podcast, episode 409 for the week of July 9th, 2019. Lots of nines. My name is Ryan Higgins. Is that right? Yeah, 409. Yeah. Who's here with me this week?
Brock Sager.
Kevin. And Charlie.
And we have a very special guest that's on his way, as I've been told. We're just going to dilly-dally for a little while till he gets here.
Sorry, a certain Twitter handle.
At Bryce Larsen quotes.
Yeah.
Well, he'll only have to take half a day off of work tomorrow. So the full day.
He's coming. Bryce is coming.
No,
Bryce
is
coming.
Quotes. We'll only have to take to
Yeah.
transcribe this.
Did we tweet out to him like in a tease tweet?
Oh, he
yet?
knows. He knows. It's coming.
Okay.
He knows.
Wait, do you know who it is?
No, I don't. But he
You
tweeted,
have that look like you know who it is.
He tweeted, will Bryce be on the podcast, or will he reply to this tweet
I
first?
saw that, yeah.
Which one will happen? So he knows. Yeah, he listens. He understands. No, Bryce is on his way. We were running a little late, so we're just going to get started here. And Bryce will roll in here, and it'll be exciting as always when Bryce gets here.
The description Kevin used before the podcast was amazing. He's going to roll in like a hand grenade.
As Bryce. This episode is all about Spider-Man Far From Home, which is the new Marvel and Sony movie.
Phase 4, baby.
Yeah, well, yeah, end of Phase 3. We're going to talk about it. We're going to give some light thoughts, no spoilers in this first little part, although there's one or two bits that I think are pretty much impossible to not spoil, so just, be warned going forward. After that will be 100% full spoilers for the rest of the movie, about the movie for the rest of the podcast. So again, if you have not seen Spider-Man Far From Home, you don't want to get any spoilers, you probably want to come back to this podcast later. Otherwise, we're going to go ahead and just start talking about Spider-Man now. And hopefully, like I said, by the time I think we're done with our kind of initial thoughts and some early talk, hopefully Bryce will be here, and then we can kind of get into the meat of the podcast. Spider-Man. So this is 22nd Marvel movie, I think. 23rd? Is that right? I thought it was 22nd.
It's the 23rd because Endgame was the 22nd.
I thought Endgame was 21st, no?
I don't remember.
Either way, that's a whole shitload of movies.
It's catching up to Bond numbers.
I wasn't sure what they were going to do with Homecoming when it came out, but I really liked Homecoming. I mean, if you go back and listen to our podcast from a couple years ago, I thought Civil War I had some problems with, but I loved Spider-Man in it. So I was really, and of course, Endgame Endgame and Infinity War, Spider-Man has some of the best parts in those movies too. So I really like what Tom Holland's been doing with this character going forward. Coming into Far From Home, I had a couple things that I was hopeful for, a couple worries, and especially after Endgame. Oh, and I guess I should say, there's no way to not spoil everything about Endgame in this podcast as well. So I guess if you don't want Endgame spoilers, you really should not be listening to this podcast. There's a lot of setup in Endgame, and I wanted to see how Spider-Man was going to handle that, or if they were going to kind of avoid it and dodge it, what the rest of the MCU is going to do from the events of Endgame, from people dying, come back to life, and this sort of time jump. And I think on almost every front, my fears didn't happen. My concerns were all answered. The things I wanted to see addressed were all addressed. So all the kind of initial fear I may have had in this movie, almost everything was good. I probably give this right around the same ranking as the first one, as Homecoming. I thought there was a lot of really good stuff in this. Love Mysterio. Again, we'll talk about Mysterio later. I won't go too much into it. Again, I want to keep it kind of spoiler light. But he was one of my major concerns. And I'm very happy with how Mysterio turned out. A lot of talk, again, talk about this much more later, but a lot of discussion happening about the post-credit scenes. Yes. And to me, I think one's a little overblown. I think people are really reaching. But the other one, might be the best post-credit scene they've had in the MCU. And that's saying a lot, because they've had some really good post-credit scenes. So, yeah, overall, I don't even, I'll have to look at my ranking. I don't even know what I gave Homecoming. A-? B+?
No, you gave it. I think you gave Homecoming an A.
No, I don't think it was like an A-. I probably write this right there the same. I think it's gonna, I've said this when this happens, it's going to be tough to, Endgame, Infinity War, what is it? Captain America Winter Soldier. Endgame and Infinity War are just never gonna. I don't know how you top those for like a big, massive event. Those so crazy. Mm-hmm. I love those movies so much. But yeah, for like just a solid, classic character movie, not getting too bogged down in the continuity of the world, just a fun adventure. I really like this movie. We're 2 for 2 on Spider-Man, and you go back. Music Spider-Man, terrible, both movies. Atrocious second movie. I really like Spider-Man, Tobey Maguire. I think 2's the best of the 3.
2's the best of the 3.
But you could tell, it was never perfect, but they had their heart was in the right place.
Yeah.
This is just the heart is not only in the right place. I think it's also extremely accurate to the character, in a modern, updated way.
I think what
more so than.
Well, I think what the current iteration of Spider-Man really grasps is that feeling that when it was brand new back in the 60s, right? Mm-hmm. It had this feeling to it. And then when Ultimate Spider-Man came out, we also had that kind of, Bendis and Bagley brought kind of that freshness to it, but it still had that core. That core.
Yeah.
And
this is very similar to that.
This is similar to that. I think Tom Holland's performance as Peter Parker, a young Peter Parker, really, really works.
Yeah, yeah. While there's elements that are maybe a little more true to the original take on the character in the Tobey Maguire movie, with Aunt May and Uncle Ben and a few other elements, I feel, the overall tone and kind of themes of Spider-Man are and just an overall quality of movie have been stronger in these two. The villains have been much stronger. Again, I love Doc Ock in the second Tobey Maguire movie, but
the Vulture was
awesome and Mysterio was awesome. Very easily 2 of the best MCU villains by far, no questions asked. So solid top, pretty top of my list. Tough to break into that top 3, I think, at this point, but definitely there in the AA minus range somewhere. So I really enjoyed this movie. I did see it late. I saw it Tuesday night at 10 o'clock after I recorded the podcast last week. I would like to watch it again before really cementing my opinion because I was definitely very tired. I didn't Toby it.
You didn't Toby it?
I didn't fall asleep 15 minutes in, but I definitely...
You took a nap at some point?
I definitely was like... towards the end, I was struggling a little bit. I was like, I am tired. Mm-hmm. It's like 12:30. I'm fucking beat from a full day of work and recording podcasts and everything like that. So I would like to rewatch it again just to confirm I didn't, pass out at any point during the movie. I'm pretty sure I watched it all.
You didn't pull Toby.
No, like I said, I'm pretty sure I saw it all. But yeah, I definitely want to watch.
We'll find that out later with spoiler parts. So.
Yeah, I definitely want to watch it again. Brock.
Yes.
Overall thoughts.
So I went and saw it on Thursday, and I took my kids because they really enjoyed Homecoming.
Mm-hmm. And Brody's...
my son's 8 and my daughter is 6.
That's like perfect age.
So yeah,
Brody. Yeah.
Both of them just loved it. Like they laughed and they were like just totally engaged in the movie. I think I agree with your assessment that Homecoming was amazing and just really, really solid movie. This one, again, really, really solid movie. Especially is because this movie is affected a little bit more than Homecoming was with the actual MCU coming directly.
Homecoming was very
standalone,
and
separate.
Itself,
but this one, most of it. This one we had like real definitive influence from the MCU with everything happening in Infinity War, Endgame, so on and so forth. Yeah. So I really, really enjoyed it. It was a fun ride. They did a great job with Mysterio. Just how they set that character up and executed him was just fantastic. So overall, it's up there in my ranking. I just don't know exactly where.
Because We got like 7 months or whatever before the next movie, which I assume is Black Widow. So we got quite some time to do some rewatches and reshuffle our list.
It'll come out on
Phase 4.
Blu-ray and by then
Infinity War comes out
in August.
end of the month. Yeah, or Endgame. Sorry,
Endgame's
end
in
of the
August.
month. Yeah. I think it's digital, like end of the month.
End of the month is digital. It's August.
Physical.
It's in physical in August because Shazam's out. Shazam's out.
We get Comic-Con, next week. Yeah.
It's already out digitally.
Yep.
Yeah.
Kevin.
Well, let me first say, I'm flipping the script on you, Ryan, and I saw it at 7:15 a.m.
Oh, that's right.
On what?
But I was wide awake. I had coffee with me. I know I did not fall asleep. But it was definitely like getting the engine warmed up at the start of I literally got up, got dressed, got in the car, and went to the movie theater. I'm sorry, guys. It's solid middle of the pack for me. Okay. I loved Homecoming. Let me just get that out of the way first. Loved Homecoming. Saving spoilers for later, I will say just two things and we can move on to Charlie. The first half of this felt like a Disney Channel movie, like Hannah Montana's European Vacation.
Sure.
It didn't.
How many Disney Channel shows do you watch? It makes me
once a certain
concerned.
thing happens in the movie, it really kicked into a higher gear for me. But that thing I'm referring to is like an hour into the movie. I don't want to say what that is.
I have one or two complaints, and it's related.
My other problem is, let's see. I don't want to say, give me OG Spider-Man or give me nothing, because Into the Spider-Verse is probably my favorite Spider-Man movie, and that is about as far from OG Spider-Man as you can get. But I really don't care for this take on Spider-Man. Not Tom Holland. The character, turning him into kind of Iron Man Jr., I just don't like that take on Spider-Man. I see that that's the way they're going, and okay, that's the way they're going. But I think my issue with this is more, you were saying, Ryan, that you like a standalone adventure. That's what Homecoming felt like.
Yep.
Well, it felt like kind of an issue of Marvel team-up because it had so much Iron Man in it. But this feels like a Marvel movie guest starring Spider-Man. And that poor character, it's like... Oh, speaking of Charlie, it's like one of Charlie's bookcases in his living room where the shelves are bowing under the tremendous weight of these omnibuses. It's like you're piling so much other MCU stuff on poor Spider-Man that it's like you've got Nick Fury and Happy Hogan and Maria Hill and all of the and constant callbacks to Endgame. And okay, it's too much. It's too much for me. I wanted a palate cleanser, like a nice light, just Spider-Man solo book. And this wasn't that. There are some great things, and there's an Easter egg, I guess you would call it, towards the end that almost had me leap out of my seat, like the Shazam post-credit scene. But I'll leave that for later. Charlie?
Okay, we'll come back to it. We'll hit on all those.
Charlie completely hated this movie.
Because I don't disagree with some of that, but I don't see it as a negative,
So I like this movie better than Homecoming.
Son of a bitch.
I've given this a little bit of thought.
So you're not alone on this. I know some people that like it better. I know some people that are, like myself, think it's pretty equal. I think the average opinion has been maybe a little less than Homecoming.
So here's one of the things that I can definitely say. That I'm going to go back to the Toby Maguire Spider-Man movies for a second. Sure. I kind of felt like I walked out of the first one with this is what was wrong, X, Y, Z. And then when I walked out of the second one, I'm like, wow, they addressed X and Y. Z's still there, but X and Y got fixed. I felt the same way on this. Certain complaints I had in Homecoming, it felt like they addressed in a way that I was okay with in this movie. And that's part of the reason why I enjoy it more, because it's those little tweaks of improvement that kind of take away my complaints that enhance my enjoyment. Because, at least to a degree, it makes me feel like they're listening to my complaints, even though they're not.
So do we want to... Let's go into the meat of it here.
So stop spoiler territory if you've gotten this far.
Yeah. And, of course, when Bryce gets here, hopefully it'll be here in 10, 15 minutes or so, we'll get his kind of initial thoughts, and then we'll kind of keep going here. So, Kevin, I want to go back to your comments there about... wanting the palate cleanser. I don't disagree. I don't think you're ever going to get it.
No, I know I'm not.
But to me, this actually was way, I almost think, less than it could have been. I think way less than it could have been as far as like we have to deal with the the blip and all that stuff. The way they sort of explain it and jump ahead another year, by the way, this pushes the MCU forward another like 9 months.
Yeah.
Right.
So I have a question.
Yeah.
This is
Just about
time
the blip.
travel.
About the blip.
What is the blip? What is the snap?
No. You had the one kid who now seems older. Like he was he blipped or was he not blipped?
No.
And if he wasn't blipped, why was he going on the school trip with them?
Because they go to the same school they go to in Shazam, where people from ages K to 12 are all attend the same school. Because they said he was like 12 when they got blipped.
He wasn't in school with them. He was younger.
Yeah.
He was like in 8th grade or whatever. And now he's like a senior or like a junior.
Well, no, I think I think the whole blip explanation in the high school thing and the school thing really just shows how convoluted and crazy and stupid our education system is here in America. I think that's what they're trying to tell us.
As I said, that was just one of those things that I couldn't tell if he was blipped but came back older or if he wasn't blipped at all, because there's that little part at the beginning which sort of showed the before and after.
Yeah, no, people just came right back immediately to the age they were. So Spider-Man gone, Mary Jane gone.
Pretty much everyone from Homecoming was blipped.
Yeah, but that kid comes back,
But that means he's 5-6 years older.
Yeah,
at this point?
5.5 years, whatever. But I think because this is. So they come back, they start school again, and have gone through the entire school year and are now at summer, right? Going into their summer break. Mm-hmm. So we are like 9-10 months post Endgame at this point. So we're 2020. It was 2024, right? So 2025. Yeah. So we're like summer 2025 now in the MCU. I think that math sounds right to me.
But it was still a school trip,
right, and that's common. What is it, college? But Leanne like school trips, and we have.
I still just find it weird that there's like not even freshmen with a 5-year gap.
Well, how old are they supposed to be? Because this would be
the thing
next
is
year.
Homecoming.
Was he a freshman in the first movie?
He refers to himself as 16 in the movie.
Who?
Peter.
So he's a junior. Or sorry, so he's a sophomore.
He'd be
probably that
summer in between.
Sophomore, junior. Yeah. Okay.
So,
and that other kid must have been a senior, either a junior or senior. I don't think he's
5-year. I don't know.
He was 12. He wasn't in the same grade as them.
Okay.
They say he was 12.
He was 12.
I'm like 99% sure they say he was 12.
They say he was 12, and then there was the blip happened. And
I thought he was in the same grade as them because they seem to. Yeah.
Yeah. No, it just, again, like the Shazam school, every age range goes to the same school. It's fine.
Yeah, whatever.
Okay.
You just kind of.
I was just a little confused by that kid.
But no, yeah, I like the way they kind of poke fun at it. There's opportunity to explore this time period in an MCU movie or a TV show or whatever, but I was wondering how the movies were going to handle this, and kind of just brushing it away is honestly the best way to do it, because how does anything work now? Well, how do anyone get their jobs back? How do people live in their houses? What you just don't go there, right?
Well, I think they did. I think they did a good job.
I like that they at least acknowledge.
They acknowledge it.
They acknowledge it with what Aunt May
but then,
is doing.
as you said, they kind of just go, but it all worked out.
Right, exactly.
They acknowledge it with what Aunt May is doing at the beginning.
Magneto
where
destroys Manhattan, and it's fine. And the stock market doesn't go away, and it's fine the next day.
People who collected life insurance on their dead loved ones, do they have to give the money back when the loved one comes back?
I think the best blip story I liked out of this was the teacher who was like, my wife faked being blipped and ran off with her hiking buddy. I was like, oh, that's brutal.
So I will go into a couple complaints. I have like two kind of would be really my only complaints. Guilfoyle's fine, like their teacher. What's his name from
Martin Starr.
Yeah, like he's fine. All right, he was annoying, but he was fine. I hate the other teacher.
Yeah, the other teacher's useless.
What that guy's problem is so annoying. Is just
I think the best explanation for that character in that they shouldn't have used the character period, but it's like
was he in Homecoming?
No.
Yeah, I don't know what was it.
Like this is an addition character because they're like, we can't just have one chaperone on this this trip, we have to have 2 chaperones. I'm like, yeah, but you go with a character that basically the first thing he does is take an Ambient and go to sleep.
It was just a weird, to me, it was just way
That's what
too...
I'm talking about. It felt like something off the Disney Channel, stupid, slapsticky teachers, like that scene where they're trying to switch seats on the plane. I was dying inside when that was happening.
I'm okay with it because to me, I think
you just don't like sharing.
Tom Holland and Zendaya, they're very cute together, right? Their relationship is funny, so you have to. I think I'm fine with them having their.
Well, and I like Ned. Ned adds enough humor,
and that's my other complaint. Is Ned? I liked him in the first movie a lot. They played him only for jokes in this movie, and I thought that took away from the character because I think he was great in the first movie. I didn't like him in this movie. It was too much. It's kind of funny. Oh, he gets together with Liz. It's kind of this goofy scene. Okay, that's fine.
You mean Betty, right?
Or
Betty Brant.
Betty. Sorry. Yeah. Wait, Betty? No. They call her...
Isn't the newscast girl Betty Brant? The blonde girl.
Is it not Liz?
Yeah, I think
when they're doing the
Is
news
it
broadcast
Betty?
at the school.
Yeah.
That's Betty Brant.
I had it as Liz in my head. Anyway, either
Isn't
way.
Liz the girl from the first one?
Maybe,
I think so.
Maybe that's what I'm confusing.
That's the girl Peter's in love with, the love of his life in the first movie.
Yeah. Okay.
Until this movie.
Vulture's
Okay,
daughter.
that's right. Sorry. Yeah, it's Liz Allen in the first one and Betty Brant in this one. Sorry. I mean, quote unquote, right? But it was just too goofy, slapsticky humor with him, and I liked that he was like, "I'm the guy in the chair" in the first movie. I wanted to see that character, and we don't really. He is not really ever that character in this. He's like, "Yeah, I know he's Spider-Man." And Mary Jane Moore takes on that role in this movie.
Well, the
which,
thing is
you have
fine. You have to remember, like, your balance, the amount of characters you're balancing in this movie versus the other one, and what they're adding to the film is changed. Like, MJ did not. I mean, she was in the movie, the first movie, but she wasn't there.
She was bare. I mean,
she was there, but she was.
Well, you didn't even know she was MJ till the end of the movie.
Yeah, she was barely in the movie.
And then this one, it's like she's taking a more like.
She's barely in the movie.
She's taking a more. She's becoming a bigger character in this, so you kind of have to tone down other characters, because if you're doing full blown Ned, guy in the chair, in doing full blown Mary Jane, I think it could cross.
No, they could have teamed up to help him or something like that. I just feel like they really played him more for laughs and not actually used him as a cool character.
Yeah,
I thought it was, again, they play him for laughs a bit in the first movie too, but I think it's.
But I feel like
way
in the
more
first
than this.
movie, the story lent itself to him being more useful. Where in this story, where you have Nick Fury and you have
Tony Stark's new AI, and you have Mysterio,
there's not really a need to have Peter asking Ned for
and
help.
giving
Then why
Ned,
is he in the movie then? Right?
But the thing is
So it can come up with the name Night Monkey.
but
Kevin's nodding. Okay,
you don't like
I thought
Night
the
Monkey?
Night Monkey thing was kind of funny. That was pretty funny.
Okay, hold on. We have to test Kevin real quick.
You, Ryan, who finds too much humor in too many of these movies, I can't believe you're signing on.
It fits Spider-Man.
Yes.
Okay, now I'm gonna test Kevin. What do you think about the Peter Tingle?
That one, that was too much.
Yes.
That's where I lose it. That's where I was
you mean when he suddenly doesn't have spider sense anymore for the entire movie until it magically turns back on? Great writing. Here, I'm going to write a Superman movie where, his heat vision just doesn't work until he needs it at the very end and then it comes back. That's terrible.
Well, what's funny is we get introduced kind of to it in Infinity War.
You have to distance yourself from the real spider. You have to distance yourself from the real spider sense because it's not. It's not the same thing, right?
I know, but
it's just not the same thing.
It comes on when it is relevant to the story.
In the movies, it has almost never been used. He uses it like once or twice in Avengers, and then in this, he doesn't use it in the other movies, as far as I know. And there he is. There's Bryce.
Well, let's get this mic on to pick up the shouts from across the room.
He's already had a few,
so it's
going to be one of those.
Not true.
We started with Bryce. We're talking Spider-Man Endgame. That's what you're here for.
Spider-Man Endgame. I seen it. I'm ready to talk about it.
Also known as Homecoming.
Also known as Homecoming.
Also known as Far From Home.
What did I say?
Spider-Man Endgame.
Did I say Endgame?
Yeah.
Yes.
What the heck? Am I drunk? I cannot get these names straight. Spider-Man Far From Home. There we go. I really say Endgame? Homecoming?
Did you see it, Bryce?
It's all the same thing.
I have indeed seen it. Okay. Not joking or sarcastic. Nice beard.
And as you as well, sir.
So
Well,
here,
that's a lie.
Beard, that's
Stylish stubble.
so here's what we've discussed. I want to hear your non-spoiler initial thoughts.
Okay.
And then we were Kevin has some problems with the movie, and we were discussing the things we didn't like, and then we're going to go into the sort of the plot and kind of the bigger overall story of stuff. So
In typical Higgins fashion, it's a Marvel movie. We're starting off with the negative. Okay, so
No,
something's never
I am
changed.
the one who liked it the least at this table.
I'm very positive on it.
Interesting, because I, as history is repeating itself, I am not only the number one cable fan,
Number two.
living in hiding. But yeah, I think I'm with Mr. Sharp. I've not corroborated or collaborated at all yet.
That's true. We have not had any contact.
We've had
than
no contact.
You confirming you were going to be here tonight.
That is true. I did do that, but we didn't talk about Spider-Man.
Nope, not at all.
We didn't even talk about beer.
True.
More's the pity. Okay, so a non-spoiler reaction to the movie.
Yeah. What's a quick take?
My quick take is that I used to have a little saying about Captain America 1, which is that some movies had to be something always has to be at the bottom of a list. And I'm not going to say this movie.
And it's not Captain America 1, that's for damn sure.
Well, I know. You know what?
God damn.
You know
how
what?
have you not
I
rewatched
bought that movie and I still haven't rewatched it.
When I rewatched it pre-Endgame, it went up like 6 spots on my list.
it's
or something
really
like that.
good.
It is
Really good.
So I was
really,
literally
really
thinking
good.
about my whole list last night, and I was like, okay, and we can go over this later because this is not important right now, but I'm still going to talk about it, which is that Ant-Man and Wasp definitely going down. So these are all movies. I'm going to talk about Spider-Man, I promise. But Ant-Man and Wasp definitely will go down upon a second watching. Thor: The Dark World, I feel bad saying that it would probably go down upon a second watching. What else? Hulk definitely going down as if it could go down any further. I mean, I'm just saying,
Yeah.
I love all the movies. All
Sure.
of them. They're all great. They're all better than any DC movie except for Batman. Well, the Christopher Nolan ones. And so, let's see here. And then there was one other one.
It was called Spider-Man: Far From Home.
No, Iron Man 2.
You
I
tried.
just
You
feel like if I
tried.
saw Iron Man 2, I've seen it a bunch of times. I feel like if I saw it again, I would just be like, this is kind of a retread. They're just shoehorning War Machine in there. So anyway, I haven't seen any of these movies a second time, much less Captain America. So I don't know. I'm a bad nerd is what I'm saying. Anyway, so Spider-Man: Far From Home. Since I saw it by myself, which, by the way, sucks. If you go see movies by yourself, you can attest to the fact that it sucks. But it's let's see here. I was waffling like, Rotten Tomatoes gave it a great review. I should like it more than I do. And then I was like, no, I don't. So this is like a Bryce that's going against Rotten Tomatoes, possibly for the first time ever. He said it with a question mark in his voice, if you can tell from my inflection. But I'll have a lot more to say in the spoiler review. But what I will say that is spoiler-free... Wait, spoiler-free, what can I say? I can say I went into this movie with no trailers, no reviews. I knew nothing about it. Just like I did not know, for those of you hashtag new to the podcast, I did not know that Luke Skywalker would be in that first movie of the new trilogy, whatever it was called. I had no idea anything about this movie. You could have told me that Hellboy was going to be in this movie, and I would have believed you because I knew nothing about this movie. But let's see. I knew that going into this movie, so that's spoiler free, I like Tom Holland. Really liked the first one was called Homecoming.
Yes.
I liked that movie. I had some nitpicks about that. I'm sure that I was on some episode some number of years ago. But, was that cough? Were you suppressing the word bullshit when you coughed just now, or were you busy?
I should have been, but no, I was actually coughing.
Yeah. No. I did like Homecoming. It was not the top of my list, but it was not the bottom of my list. And neither is this. Maybe we'll talk it out in real time. But I would say, look, ultimately, it's not a bad movie. I would say go see it. There's a lot of things that are probably going to change my mind that are going to be discussed tonight. A lot of things that are brought up that's going to make me walk back a lot of my negativity. After seeing it, I was very, I liked it, right? And then I was way negative, and then I was like, no, that's ridiculous, Bryce. Like, that's all forgivable. That's all forgivable. And then, like, 24 hours after that, I was like, no, it's kind of not. Like, these nitpicks were there was just too many in number.
See?
They were growing.
When Bryce doesn't have the podcast, he has to argue with himself instead of Ryan.
That's like depressingly accurate.
So this is the thing: is you need to go to
So
Twitter more
lonely.
often. Because then you can have.
I've been the worst Twitterer. There's probably a bunch of Twitter questions that I haven't even seen.
So we were talking about the things we started with some of the negative to answer some of Kevin's complaints, and
Did he give his spoiler yet?
Not spoilered.
Yeah,
We're just had gotten into spoilers.
yes, yeah. So the
Wait, so what's an example of something that you said that was spoiler free but negative? Because I have a litany.
No, he kind
your
of
just
bopped
reaction.
around stuff.
Oh.
So one of Kevin's biggest problems, and I actually agree with part of it, is some of the tone of the beginning of the movie, some of the unnecessary comedy, the
Yeah.
teachers.
Yeah. The teachers were the fucking...
Yeah.
The first teacher's okay.
No, they're
Guilfoyle.
both JB Smoove
Yeah,
and the dude
I
from
don't-
Silicon Valley.
yeah.
Both bad.
Yeah.
Both
Yeah.
bad.
Yes.
But the first one is from the original or from Homecoming.
He's
So he's just-
okay
he's
if it
okay.
was just. I just call him Guilfoyle because I don't know who he is. If it was just
That's
him,
why I said JB Smoove, which
Yeah.
is actually his name.
Yeah.
And then that dude from
Martin
Silicon
Starr.
Valley.
If it
Martin
was
Starr.
just him, I think it would have been okay. The other guy is like annoying 10 times more, so it makes the first guy
Wait,
even more
I totally
annoying.
disagree with that because like he had like no part to play. JB Smoove.
But whenever he's in it, he's totally worthless. Like, why is this character
No,
here?
but he's not. He is not a factor of anything as annoying as Guilfoyle.
But he
Like-
shows up and he's like, I'm gonna take an Ambien, and he disappears. And then he shows up
Yeah,
and
but
he's like,
but
Because he
exactly,
just in it for the
disappears.
free trip
He's-
overseas.
He's not annoying at all. He's buffoonish.
He's very
but
annoying.
He spends a bunch of the time, again, not spoilers. He spends a bunch of the time saying like, "This is not my idea. Keep me out of it. Hey, I'm going to try to like keep this real for you." He spends a bunch of the time not being annoying.
it just felt like they're like, we have to have two teachers here because people will complain if there's only one because that's not enough to deal with these kids.
What?
So we have. It feels like
No.
there's some weird like, oh, there'd obviously be two teachers. So we just
No, that
hire
is
some
not at
random
all
guy.
what they thought. They definitely thought like Guilfoyle was already hilarious. Let's add JB Smoove, who's great in Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Yes.
But not great here. And by the way, he's not funny or buffoonish. He's just buffoonish enough to be like, okay, that's what you were going for, but not actually funny enough to be like, okay, that's actually funny. So like, fuck that shit. That was so annoying. Those like, and their science. Okay, wait.
Yeah, full spoilers. Doesn't say whatever.
Oh, we can spoil it
Yeah,
now.
just full spoilers.
Yeah.
Okay, so okay, look. There's a bunch of nitpicks that I'm going to have that this is like the least of them, but it's very much a nitpick. Like it's a fucking science trip. Have you been to school? Has anybody listening to this been to school? The fucking science team is a bunch of fucking nerds, okay? And fair play, because by the way, they're all running Google and Facebook, and that's the reason I had to move out of fucking California, is because like the nerds have taken over, which is fair, and my bad for not being smart enough, I guess, or nerdy enough. I'm not sure, one of the two, or possibly both. But either way, like the teachers of those nerds were also nerds. They were not like Guilfoyle. I get you got to have this buffoonish, comedic relief teacher. I don't dislike the comedy in the Marvel universe, even though this is like the Sony Marvel universe, which is a whole different thing that I don't even understand fully. But like the fact that they opted in seemingly to this very tropish. These two teachers are obviously idiots because they were playing off each other from the beginning, and it was like, okay, these guys are going to be the class clowns, and it's like, okay, first of all, Peter Parker is not that nerdy. Like the Peter Parker that I grew up with, and again, this is the whole old man Larsen get off my lawn, but like the Peter Parker I grew up with was
You mean young man Larsen? If you're saying Peter Parker's not nerdy,
Well,
he's like the epitome of nerd in those early issues.
Well, beyond the teachers, though, Bryce, that as an itinerary for a science trip is bizarre.
right.
Like they're going, that would be like an art history trip.
That is a fucking spring
Well,
break.
hold
They're
on,
going
hold
to
on.
all the
Hold
hottest
on.
cities, and all the students want to go to the show of lights and not the opera. You know what actually happens in real life at a fucking science trip? They want to go to the opera and not the fucking rave downtown.
Hold on. It's all being changed by
Yes.
Mysterio, though. Like they had another trip planned.
Yes.
Right, but there was no science behind
Fury.
it.
by Nick Fury, sorry. And so there's a whole other trip planned. So
Right.
they're like, wait, everything's been moved around. I guess we're doing whatever this is.
Yeah,
Right,
well,
so-
that's my point. It's Disney Channel plot mechanics. I guess we'll just go wherever and just do whatever is in
Yeah,
Europe.
yeah,
We'll
yeah.
just do Europe stuff. because there's
like,
no
where can we film the cheapest?
there's no framework to it.
They also didn't film overseas. That was all here. Like those are all studios.
If this had been
most of it.
wait, what?
Yeah.
It was filmed over there a little bit.
I mean, that
Like, I'm
Venice
sure-
scene was definitely in Venice. By the way,
I
this is
don't think
probably
so.
like Larsen
they
bias
film almost all
also,
of it
but like
here.
I've
No,
been to
they had
all of those places.
Watching the credits, they had.
Are
they
you
had
sure that
units,
they were all sets?
They had units in Europe.
That fucking that famous white bridge in Venice.
clearly-
Venice was Venice. They were definitely filming in Venice.
Clearly-
if those were all sets, that is fucking incredible. Because I've been to Venice and it looked like Venice to me.
Clearly, some of it was, but
Because I think they said London. They filmed in London studio. Too.
When Spider-Man runs onto I forget the name of that bridge, but it's a very famous bridge. It's one of the most famous things in Venice. He runs to the top of it like he's going to stop fake Hydro Man from.
Venice was on the studio backlots at the Stansted Airport at London.
Yeah,
There's a studio. They didn't shoot in Venice.
They had a lot of like buildings right on the water. That is very impressive. Okay, so
Well, they probably had a bunch of second units filming exterior
second
shots
units.
around
Yeah.
these cities, and then you just meld it together. and
but they did do some work in London.
Well, they filmed the entire thing there, London and L.A. But it wasn't. They didn't go to Venice. They didn't go to these places.
okay, well the Venice thing is very impressive though because there was fucking like all the buildings were on the water.
What are you talking
so-
about? They just borrowed some CG from Assassin's Creed. Like,
I haven't seen it, but I'm sure that is a great joke.
Yeah, they did film some stuff there, but it was like again.
second unit.
Okay.
Most of it was
Anyway,
filmed.
by the way, I have a good number of positives about this movie, but fuck if this movie didn't annoy the fuck out of me in a lot of capacities. So, like,
Dang.
can we talk about Zendaya?
I love her.
What
great.
the fuck? Of course you love her. She's this I hate life goth chick.
Yeah.
Of course you fucking love her. Peter Parker is this like holistic, fun-loving young man, and like.
I
by
love
the
her
way,
eyes. I
Spoiler
love the way
alert
she
for the
looks.
history of Spider-Man.
That
but-
kind of like
She just like closes her eyes and
droopy eye a little,
looks
like-
annoyed, and she's just like
she's always fucking annoyed. She hates
great.
life.
You
need to practice
She's
that look
super
on
goth.
Bryce.
She's like super into like death and the Black Dahlia murders. It's like
yeah.
Mary J. Blige, Mary Jane, whatever her name is, Mary Jane Blige. No. So she's supposed to be like a great comedic romantic foil for Peter Parker. What the fuck? She is none of those things. And by the way, it didn't bother me. And by the way, wait, I'm going to get to my point in just a second. But by the way,
We know.
Can we get past the
We
fact
know.
that her dad is still the Vulture? Like, can we
No,
acknowledge?
it's the other.
dad?
It's,
It's
yeah,
the other
Liz's
girl.
dad. I actually made that same mistake.
that was Liz Allen's.
Yeah,
dad.
that
Yeah,
was Liz Allen.
yeah,
That
the
was
girl who's going to take to the prom.
The one he takes to the prom. That's the.
We
Vulture
don't know Mary
Okay.
Jane's family. They've never.
Okay.
They don't get into
well, that
them, right?
removes one of my more minor fucking.
I actually
complaints.
made that same mistake. I think when I was watching it or before I was watching it, I was like, "Isn't her dad the Vulture?" And I was like, "Oh no, that's the other girl's dad. That's right. That's
So
right."
we're both equally
I-
like half racist, not racist.
I like mixed that up.
That's awkward.
in my head, but yeah, it is the other girl.
Okay, well now I feel bad about that. But yeah, like okay, so that didn't really even factor in. But like she fucking loves death and depressing shit, and she's super emo, and it's like Mary Jane is like this fun-loving Peter Parker romantic foil throughout the history of Spider-Man. And she like loves dark shit and death, and it's like, first of all, what the fuck? Other than because you have to, like, air quotes, love a chick named Mary Jane. Like, why are you into this chick? He spends the whole time like romanticizing about Mary Jane, and then she keeps on being super dark and emo, and it's like what? It was totally unbelievable.
because it wasn't the Mary Jane that you fell in love with.
It wasn't the Mary Jane that exists in the comic book universe. So, yes, maybe. But anyway, so that's total bullshit. He's super awkward. Great. By the way, love Tom Holland. I think that he does a great job, from what he's doing. I do have a ton of positives about this movie. But, I like the, I guess, quasi-feminist tilt that they take with Mary Jane. I especially liked the part, like, you're really pretty, and then she says, like, oh, so that gives me value. Like, I think that's more, is prescient the right word? I'm not sure it is, but maybe I'll go with it anyway. Because, like, that's a great line. Like, she's a much stronger female character than we've ever had. But, like, she fucking, like, hates life. And she, like, exudes that throughout the whole thing.
She's a teenager.
I mean, I don't know if that proves my point or disproves my point.
It's like
I'm
teenagers.
not sure.
They just hate everything.
No, but teenagers hate like the rest of life. Like she hates like everything and makes it super awkward for him, and not in like a awkward high school way, but just like he I don't know. He can't be himself around her in the first place. Not to mention the fact that he doesn't belong with her because their personalities don't match at all. Have you been to high school? You've definitely been to high school.
Yeah,
you fucking get along with the people that like you share interests with. How the fuck are you and Higgins still friends after all these years? You guys are polar opposites.
We met over a Wizard magazine.
Me and Brock?
You and Brock are like, other than liking comics, are so different. It is fucking crazy. He fucking loves kids. You hate kids. You're super goth. He's just, I don't know, grungy. Yeah, there's so many differences. The point is, in high school,
Hey, this is Tiffany earlier. What the hell are you talking?
you become friends in high school with like people that you
Opposites
share
attract,
interests
man.
with. They're in like a flirtatious way, but like not in the way that Mary Jane and Spider-Man are supposed to like get together. They're supposed to be.
Are you saying Higgins and I need to get together?
Maybe I am. Pinky to the corner of the mouth.
Yeah, she's a little dark, a little
Okay,
weird.
look,
little,
this is again, this is like such a low part of my nitpicks.
So
This is like,
my-
I just don't like Mary Jane in this. It is nothing against Zendaya. I liked her in the Barnum and Bailey movie.
Leanne's watching some movie
The
or
Greatest
TV show where she's like doing
Fucking love The
like
Greatest
cocaine
Showman.
and stuff.
Euphoria.
Yeah. She's like, wow, that's a pretty dramatic change.
So I haven't seen that, but I probably will at some point. My point is that it's nothing against Zendaya, and I have plenty of things against plenty of actors and actresses. But this is not against Zendaya. This is like against the character. They made her this super dark, emo, goth teenager that is not like a Peter Parker foil at all. Anyway,
So my as you came in, the problem I was having was with Ned, his friend, where I felt he was pretty useful and funny and kind of comedic, but made a lot of sense in the first movie. And in this movie, he's basically there just for laughs, and they've like thrown that character in the trash. So I don't
I agree
quite
with that.
get that.
That's even lower on my list than of my.
Yeah, but other like Charlie, Kevin, you guys jump in for a second. I like.
Give me this.
Does it have to be about?
Bryce needs to breathe.
Does it have
Give
to
me a
be
chance to
about
breathe.
Mary
Open
Jane
a
or
beer.
Ned?
No. Well,
Okay.
you just said you had some nitpicks, so like I want to.
Well, okay, so just into that first hour, besides the terrible teacher comedy and the field trip,
Awful. Yeah, both awful.
whether or not you know, if you could walk in this movie knowing nothing about Mysterio from the comics, I mean, and think, well, maybe this is a new superhero, whatever. The stuff before Mysterio's turn, and that's what I was talking about earlier when the movie got good for me, like fighting those elementals just seems so phoned in by the numbers, and it is in the story continuity bullshit.
Yeah.
It's all fake. But I mean, as a movie viewer, I'm like, wow, we're spending a lot of time on this nonsense.
Oh, I like that.
Oh man, it's just fighting giant CGI element creatures.
So far, I'm with Higgins though. Like, I like that too.
Let's fight one of them.
So I like that, but I also felt
surprise
like
nobody.
Okay, getting into spoiler territory, the whole idea of a water elemental being controlled by drones, which is purely an illusion that means that you're not actually wetting stuff, that is bullshit.
Okay.
If you take out the water
Yes.
elemental and you stick with like earth elemental stuff that's more impact,
Okay,
Well,
right.
we got.
I'm fine.
We got two, right? Got the
No,
water.
we got at least 4. Wait. Oh, you mean at that point?
Yeah, at that point we only had the water because
Yeah.
they didn't do the air one.
I'm talking about when
No, we
Mysterio is supposedly a good guy.
Yeah.
We-
But
we
we only
didn't-
got the water one and the molten one, right? Or
Yes.
what was there
No.
another
At
one?
that at the water point, we'd like
Only seen the two.
seen the effects of one,
Well, at the very beginning,
and then we saw
Yeah.
the hype. No, we never saw
we
the
never saw
cyclone
the
one.
elemental.
yeah.
And I'm actually glad we never saw the air one because I don't want to see another. I mean, even though the end one was kind of like it, like a huge cloud villain again.
Well, any event, a big sandstorm elemental, who knows how long that battle lasted in sort of the beginning. And being able to cause the damage and stuff with drones makes sense to me, except when you start going into like water elemental territory.
The drone's just hitting the water and splashing it on them. Like this is weird.
Or it's taking it up, like sucking it up and then peeing it out.
Yeah.
It,
Drone peeing drones? No, nobody. Okay.
they
I'm like
didn't.
not even worried about this.
To me, that's like the only part of the movie that I'm like, okay, the explanation doesn't match up with sort of the reality for me. But in general, the way they handled Mysterio, the way they kind of updated the character, I loved.
Yeah.
Like, when they did the turn and the explanation, I thought that was brilliant.
Yes. Okay.
Yes.
There are very few characters in the Marvel Cinematic Universe that I've thought prior to the Marvel Cinematic Universe, there is no way that I will ever like this movie or this character. What is happening?
Well,
thank you.
That was my big complaint going into the movie was I am going to be so annoyed if they make him a villain, if they make him a hero, if they make him from an alternate dimension, all the things that they said was happening, all the stuff that people were like, 37 ways in which Mysterio could be from an alternate dimension. Oh, there is the multiverse.
Wait, Wait, you saw that before the movie?
Oh, nonstop. Yeah, because we all know.
What the fuck? I missed all of that.
Yeah, if you watch the trailers, he's a good guy, right? And
Problem solved.
Well,
literally, the tweet I made before I went into the movie was,
let me guess. I hope the floors aren't sticky.
I'm super excited to go see this movie where Mysterio is totally a good guy, wink, 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 right? Like, because I was like, there's no fucking way.
You probably got at least 10 likes.
I did. There's no fucking way they're going to make Mysterio a good guy. But I was worried, right?
There was no way they were going to make him a good guy. I was not convinced that they weren't making him from another Earth.
Well, both of those to me are kind of like
the
big problems.
I wasn't
for me, right?
Big problems.
Shocked about the idea of it could be a con of somebody from another Earth, similar to.
Well, the thing
like
is,
Vulture, how they handle Mysterio in this movie is just like
the thing is
so perfect.
The thing is,
And let's just say that these two movies have made the Vulture and Mysterio two of the greatest MCU villains.
But the thing is
I'm clapping just for that accomplishment.
What I really loved about the Mysterio twist was that we, again, I mean, and this goes back to you not kind of liking the Tony Stark thing, right? But I actually liked that we see the guy from Iron Man 1.
Yeah, that was great.
And we see all these little characters that kind of get brushed over, teaming up. And to me, it's like, all right, this works as people that are pissed off at Tony Stark are coming back to it.
I will say this. It does feel like it was retreading a little bit with Homecoming.
Yeah.
Because it feels like basically all Spider-Man's doing is cleaning up Tony's messes.
Yeah, that's what Spider-Man is.
It's
damage
disgruntled
control.
Iron Man messes.
Yeah. Well, if
Spider-Man
Tony
is
Stark,
Tony's damage
if Tony
control.
Stark is the Uncle Ben of this Spider-Man,
Yeah.
okay.
Well, let's get back to Mysterio in a second. Yeah. This gets exactly to a problem that a lot of people had online that to me, I don't care about it all, and I'm totally fine with. And let me make the comparison here, then I'll tell you what's going on. To me, the Uncle Ben murder and the Uncle Ben backstory is like the Wayne murders of the MCU, right? Or of Marvel movies. I don't need to see it again. Right? I have no... We understand Uncle Ben existed. We understand he died. The thing... So many people were like, oh my God, I can't believe they're ignoring it. They're not even talking about Uncle Ben. And people were legitimately upset about this and didn't like the movie
you
because...
give so much fucking, credit or what's the word?
It's a narrative that's out there, right? It's not just two
not
people.
Not to me. Not to
Well, if you're not on the internet, it's not there at all.
Yeah, but I'm on the internet, but like a regular human. I'm not fucking waist deep in it.
Well, that's the problem.
He's neck
right?
Deep. He's neck deep.
So, to me...
You don't have to be.
It makes it even more significant that he fails Uncle Ben, right? And now we have a very similar situation, at least in his mind, of that Tony Stark died. And so it's like another father figure of his has passed away, and it's affecting him even more, right? And so to me, I really think it's obviously bad for the character, but it's a great storytelling device.
Well, I agree with that.
In the MCU, we've had the flip with Iron Man failing miserably at being a father figure in Iron Man 3. Yes, that's a jab at Iron Man 3 for you, Kevin. But
you're describing it accurately. That's not a jab.
Okay.
That is what happened in the movie.
Okay, it's
take
garbage.
that, Kevin.
Yeah, take that, Iron Man 3.
Iron Man 3 sucks.
You executed a story point.
Yeah. But the Tony Stark and Peter Parker interaction that they did from Homecoming to Infinity War to Endgame, I think worked very, very well.
Yeah. That's why it's important, right, in this movie when he's like, crap, this has happened again. Mm-hmm. This sucks, right? So I like that element. And to me, if the only point, and I don't know exactly how it would have worked because it's not like Scarecrow.
Scarecrow.
Yeah. Arkham
Yeah, Batman Begins?
Asylum?
What?
Don't know which
Oh,
one
the
it was.
video game?
Maybe Charlie
The video
remembers. The one with Scarecrow. I mean, it's happened in the comics. It's happened in the TV show. It's happened in the cartoon.
City.
But
Arkham Knight, he was a big bad guy. In Arkham
yeah, maybe
Knight.
it was Arkham Knight. One of the Arkham games I remember, only because it's like the more recent memory of when this has happened in something that was not a comic, is when Batman's affected by the Scarecrow's gas, and he's like sees his like dead parents coming back to life and everything like that, and he's like going down the alley. At the very end, when Mysterio's
that was Arkham City.
yeah, I don't remember which one. At the very end, when Mysterio's like fucking up Peter Parker, like with all those weird, crazy effects, and it's going crazy. Like it wouldn't have made sense for Peter to have seen Uncle Ben. Like he wouldn't have known any of that stuff. But
Well,
Let him finish.
in an age where Quentin Beck can just Google Peter Parker because he knows who he is.
I guess maybe he could have done something with Uncle Ben. Like that would have been the only situation where I think it could have worked, because this is this sort of like dream nightmare scenario. But I don't need like endless flashbacks to Uncle Ben. It's just like Tony Stark has become that new version of the character.
And I don't need endless hammering of that same note over this whole movie. I mean, we saw it happen.
Of Tony Stark?
Yes.
Well,
I don't need Peter getting those glasses.
but now we are. I think and now we are done with it.
Good.
And I
hope you are right.
Yeah, I don't need it in a third movie. I don't need Uncle Ben and dueling Uncle Ben and Tony Stark.
Well, I was perfectly content with I think, what was it? The luggage was the Uncle Ben reference?
In the first one?
No, in this one, when he's packing his bag and he closes it, it has the Uncle Ben's
but it's
initials.
it's just there. Like
Like
it's not even
I like that little nod. I don't like it's great that we have this little nod. And I mean, in Homecoming, he briefly talks about Aunt May. You know, it's been rough for Aunt May.
Yeah.
But we're not rehashing it over and over again. And I think that because we're giving this character the space he needs to be the character he wants, this Spider-Man.
Yeah.
I want to make sure when we went down this path, I'm not arguing I wish there had been an Uncle Ben flashback.
No.
Oh, okay,
you mentioned
good.
it, and I wanted to bring that up before
okay.
we got off of it. But Mysterio, the fishbowl helmet is always the giant question mark. How do you make that work? And goddamn, if they didn't make it perfect,
fuck.
It's just like a mocap suit, right?
It was so incredible.
Yeah, and it works.
So, okay, what I was saying earlier, there's a very short list of characters that I never thought would ever, by the way, even get onto like, even when they made Iron Man 1, I was like, holy fuck, they actually like made it work. Current CGI is good enough now that we can actually make this work. But there was always a list for me of things that I would never like despite all the CGI. And that was Thor and Doctor Strange, and I was proven wildly wrong on both of those because I fucking love both of those characters after they came out. Because in the comics, I could give less of a fuck about that. Couldn't give less of a fuck about them when they came out. But like the Vulture and Mysterio were on the top of my list of they will just never be in movies ever because they're just too ridiculous, even with current technology. Yeah. But holy fuck, if they didn't make Mysterio, like with drone technology, if they didn't make Mysterio, even with the fishbowl helmet, totally believable and I guess doable, but like, holy fuck. So I was totally wrong about that. They did such an incredible job with that. And that's why I keep going back, like, did I actually like it or did I not like it? Was because, I mean, there are certainly some redeeming factors of the movie, and I'm obviously going to talk more because of complaints about the negative aspects I felt about the movie, but holy fuck, they didn't do Mysterio so well.
Well, Mysterio is such a perfect comic book villain, and that it's something that, up until this point, really could only be done in comics because it's just so weird and it doesn't really work.
Right, but even his scope in the comics, he was always less than he was in this movie.
Right.
It was always just sort of like, this is to be believed, but as we, like, as technology improves and as we mature and grow older, it's just like, oh, that's just ridiculous.
Yeah.
But now,
it's
like,
vaguely possible.
So
exactly, but now even this ridiculous premise, because like what he was doing in the movie was nothing like his original premise, obviously.
No.
But it was so realistic
it's a great modernization.
For me,
yes, there you go. Thank you.
For me, it's the team aspect of it that made it work.
It's the production.
I like that a lot.
Because
it's a great idea.
The fact that he was basically a special effects person on movies and stuff doesn't feel realistic to the scope of what he had to do without really advanced technology that he would not have from working on movies
it's
and
genius
stuff.
to have a group of people doing stuff.
So that was so good. And Brock touched on that earlier. Like the fact that they had like the little speech, because I was waiting for the other shoe to drop, because I also was like, there's no way this guy is a fucking hero.
Yeah.
And then of course the bar scene like fades away, and then I was like, oh fuck. And then he like toasts everybody, and it shows everybody from all the previous movie. Well, two of them.
Yeah.
But name drops a couple more. Like the whole combined effort, that was so well done.
That was great.
That was so, I couldn't believe, I was like, this is fucking one of, I can't tell if I think that it's one of like the better villains because it was a collaborative effort, but he makes sure to say, "Oh my god, Tony Stark thought that I was unstable."
Well,
so he like plants that seed, but like he's the head of this team.
It's a great motivation. It's a great reveal.
Yes.
It's a great modernization of a classic character.
This goes back to like the Iron, all of these villains seem to spawn from Iron Man because it's
a lot of them.
This is the Iron Man's MCU basically.
Yeah.
Well, that, and if you think high tech in the MCU, it's got to come from Stark.
Right.
But if you're looking at
or aliens
at
or Wakanda, motherfucker.
Hammer,
Oh, that's true.
if you're looking at Hammer from Iron Man 2, right?
God, there is a underrated villain that I like so much better on the second viewing.
That's the thing
Hammer.
is
Justin Hammer from Iron Man 2.
Yeah.
he's
great.
better on the second viewing.
Oh,
like,
so
but
good.
like they just didn't.
He's such a
they
dick.
just didn't give him.
Such a piece of shit.
They just didn't
I
give
just hate
him the.
Sam Rockwell.
Yeah,
I just didn't Sam Rockwell. So
They just didn't give him like that. That character could have been so much more. And then in Iron Man 3, you get the extremist guy that's left on the rooftop,
Guy
right?
Pearce.
Guy Pearce. His character's left on the rooftop, and he's like, "I'm pissed off at Tony now," and it's like, okay.
Yeah,
But
Tony just
here,
pisses off people left and
but
right.
here it's like,
Which
it's
is
like,
accurate to the character.
Yeah.
But here we have
Right.
it where it's, it's that behind the scenes where it's like you see, he's sitting there going, "Barf! I don't know why we spent money on this," and like you see him in the background, right? You see Jake Gyllenhaal's character in the background. When you get to
it's Gyllenhaal.
Gyllenhaal, sorry. Then you see the guy from Iron Man 1 who's yelled at by Stain.
Yeah. The
Right.
graphics guy or whatever. Yeah.
And then it's and then we just all of these people that they met through Reddit threads and stuff, or however they met being angry.
He says
Wait,
Reddit
what?
thread?
No, it's a joke. It's a joke.
Yeah, that never happened. Nobody ever says Reddit. That can be way too toxic to collaborate.
Yeah.
But it's again like this builds up as the group. It builds up really, really well. Everyone brings something to the table. Even the costume lady who's steaming that cape like there's no fucking tomorrow brings something to the table.
Oh, it was a good scene. It was a good upgrade to that character.
And Jake Gyllenhaal was really good.
Oh
yeah.
Really
Yeah.
good.
Besides the concept of Mysterio on the
Yeah.
page, that performance was really good.
yeah.
Yeah.
And
I love his writer. I
think-
just love the fact that he has a writer. I'm like,
Yeah.
crap, I need
Yeah.
dialogue,
Yeah.
honey.
yeah,
So
but
good.
That's so funny.
that for me is one of the reasons why I like this update
By
so
the way,
much.
can we
because
pause? That is the fourth time this podcast that you've said "for me." Can
Yeah.
you go the rest of the podcast without saying "for me"? Because we all
for
know
you, maybe.
for
the number 2
We all
cable fan,
know
you
that
can do
it's
it?
for you.
Okay.
If you're saying it, we
So-
know it's for you.
I love the update of this specifically because I don't feel like it lessened Quentin Beck. I don't feel like
Yeah.
it lessened Mysterio at all having
Totally.
a team. The way they kind of structured it where he was clearly the one in charge to a degree where you actually expect he would totally stab all of them in the back once he has everything where he needs it to be.
Yeah. He says in his little toast, he says like, "To me," or I forget exactly what he says, but it's something like, "To me and to all of you," or something like,
Yeah.
like oh yeah,
but
oops,
mostly
like,
me.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's that director nobody wants to work with.
Yeah.
That's the toast Ryan gave at the end of the last podcast.
That's going to be my Eisner
At the
speech.
400th episode. Yeah.
99%.
Interesting. You give me this holographic projector, Higgins. I'm not sure what to think about that. Okay, so all right, so Mysterio, amazing, just so incredible how they like modernized him and made it like Mysterio actually like a believable modern day superhero.
One Mysterio quibble, not about the character. Or one quibble I had throughout the movie that was solved at the end of the movie was, wow, when did Nick Fury get this stupid?
Okay, that is a whole
Yes.
like
but
extra.
but I'm saying when he says, oh, this is Quentin, what's the character's name? Mysterio.
Quentin Beck.
Quentin Beck. This is Quentin Beck. Oh, he's from an alternate Earth.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, I'm from Earth 873. This
Okay.
is Earth. I'm like, wait, How do you know that? Did he just arrive at the door and you guys said, "Oh, that sounds interesting.
So,
come on in."
Probably my main complaint with this movie, which I've gone back and forth, like, no, it's believable considering all things, and then, no, it's fucking not. Bryce, you're drunk. And I was drunk, so I was like, oh, well, touche, Bryce. Okay, so, but my main problem was, like, Nick Fury, and don't even get me started on the after credit scenes.
We will get there.
I was about to text you because I was so angry, but it was very late, and you have kids in your own capacity.
No, he's just old and wants to go to bed.
On 4 legs, and that too. But I was so angry with the after credit scenes. But anyway, Nick Fury is the most, and they said in the movie, he is the smartest, most connected, most paranoid dude in the fucking world, and that's his job, and he's so good at his job, and he is who he is because he's the best at his job. And Quentin Beck just apparently has been able to come in sight unseen with powers that they've seen but not like witnessed firsthand, and been like, yeah, this guy, he's. I mean, how does that go? Where he's like telling them that he's from another dimension, and Nick Fury.
Hold on. Do you believe those are all like Fury Shield people, or are they all Skrulls?
So
that's the question.
They specifically,
but not even Skrulls. Maybe that's all just his holographic tech.
So,
as long as he's met Nick Fury, he's able to like recreate that.
Those dudes are all Nick Fury's, not his.
No, but I mean, we don't know that.
Yeah.
So the way they tried to explain it is the fact that Nick Fury got blipped away for 5 years. Mm-hmm. He actually addresses the fact that he used to know everything.
But that's what makes me so angry with the after credit scenes. Okay, can we talk about the after credit scenes?
No, not yet.
Mid credit or after credit? Yeah, we can talk about whatever.
Wait, which was the
Nick
one
Fury's
with Talos?
the after credit.
Yeah.
After.
That's after.
Okay, because that's the one that really annoys the fuck out of me.
That's fine. We can talk about it.
Okay, so in the after credit scene, by the way, if you haven't seen this yet and you're still listening to spoilers, there's 2 after credit scenes, so stay till the very, very end. But Nick Fury's driving away with fucking How I Met Your Mom, and it turns out Maria Hill. There you go. And it turns out it was Talos and another Skrull the whole
his
time.
Wife, right? That's his wife from Captain Marvel. Yeah.
And so the whole time, presumably, it's been these Skrulls and not Nick Fury.
Just in this movie.
On behalf of Nick Fury.
Right. So but for, I mean, like, yes, as far as we can assume. On behalf of Nick Fury, yes.
I do not believe for a heartbeat that this was anything more than a ding dong. Anything more than
the doorbell.
Anything more?
Again.
Hey, Brock, you want to turn that off?
Yeah, I'll turn it off.
I don't think it's.
But I want to hear
more
him go crazy
than a funny joke. There's nothing more to
so
this.
As soon as I saw this, and
this
the fact
is
that
not the
you're saying
start. This is not the start of Secret Invasion. It's not a war of. Okay, they'll get to that, but this is not like, oh, he's been a Skrull the whole time. And
No,
everything's.
but
I'm not
I
saying
think
that.
this
I'm
is
not saying
the
that.
formation of Sword.
Yeah, that is also
And
what
maybe.
I thought. That is also what I
Maybe.
thought. So props to
I think
Charlie.
he's just hanging out with some Skrulls off planet.
The closet number 2 cable fan.
No, I got the impression he's on a space station they're helping him build to better protect the planet.
I don't see that in any way, shape, or form.
Okay, by the way,
He was
Sword
like-
has like no Skrulls involved at all. So what are you even talking
He's
about?
on a Skrull ship.
Other than the fact that he's like on like a spacecraft. Like
He's
what
on
other
a
connection
Skrull
to
ship
Sword
and
was
on-
there?
He's on a Skrull ship, and he says he's like I'm on vacation, my legs hurt or whatever. Like he's not.
No, he says like, "Where's my shoes?" or something.
or whatever. Yeah, he's not.
But like, other than
he's
him
just-
being in space, why do you think it's Sword?
it's
Because he's in space.
I think it's just a.
Primarily because he's in space. Yeah.
I think
Well,
it's a.
that's let's say tenuous at best. Can we say that?
I think it's just a funny scene, and that is the end of it. The directors have come out and said, "No, Nick Fury was an Endgame. That was not a Skrull. This is just."
I think what this is.
But I think
everything
this
after,
sets up where
I know.
the next phase can go. Not for
Disagree.
Secret Invasion.
Totally
but
disagree. Wildly disagree.
Yeah.
You're wrong.
We'll see.
No.
There's going to be another phase.
Yeah,
so-
and it's not going to be with the Avengers, bro.
There is going to be a continued Kree Skrull war. I highly assume.
Oh, I disagree with that.
Well, I mean,
Captain Marvel
the
2.
the Captain Marvel 2.
Wait, is there a Captain Marvel 2?
Yeah.
Yes, and also a 3.
Yeah. So
obviously, it made $1 billion. Yes, there is a Captain Marvel 2 and 3.
Yeah.
Well, you say that, but like the other Marvel movies didn't do like bad comparatively. Why are there not sequels to them?
Well, they're working on Black
They
Panther
all
2.
have
They're working
sequels.
on
What are you
Doctor
talking
Strange
about?
2. They're
Yeah.
I haven't fucking been here in fucking forever because I live by myself and my family.
You
Love my
do
family.
realize
You
there's
heard
a
of
thing
the
called
internet?
internet. Yeah.
I don't like spoilers. I don't want to get any spoilers.
Yes, at
Wait, so they haven't. So wait, let me get my head around this.
Comic-Con next week, they are going to announce Black Panther 2, Captain Marvel 2, Doctor Strange 2, probably Ant-Man 3, Eternals.
Ant-Man 3?
Black
Ant-Man
Widow.
and the Wasp is at the bottom of my list.
Ant-Man and the Wasp is fantastic.
Yeah,
Black Widow, which is out in February,
Yeah.
and Shang-Chi, that's the other one. I believe that's the current slate
Wait,
of
so
movies.
is this Phase 4
Yeah.
or is this?
Phase
Yeah.
This is Phase
Phase
4.
4. It probably new Avengers.
And there's be a Guardians 3 teaser.
Oh, and Guardians 3.
Wait,
yeah,
what
yeah,
the
yeah,
fuck?
Yeah.
Are you telling me that they're going to have a Captain America movie with Falcon Captain?
Yeah, of course.
They're going to have a.
That's
No,
a
that's a
TV
They're
show.
going to have a Disney Plus show with Cap
yeah.
Falcon.
If it could get any worse, I don't think that it can.
Because keep in mind they have
Let me try that again. I don't think that it can get any worse, but it certainly has.
Keep in mind, they have the
Slightly
Bucky
better.
Falcon show going to Disney Plus. They have the Loki show going to Disney
And
Plus.
there's like a Vision,
They have
WandaVision.
WandaVision going to Disney Plus, and then they have the animated What If going to Disney Plus.
With all the with all the actors.
Yeah.
But to me, I think this scene is just a funny, goofy
Well, the
scene.
thing is-
Right. Yes,
That scene, solves the problem of why Nick Fury's so stupid
Yeah.
in the movie, because it's not.
But
him.
the thing is like.
But that annoys the fuck out of me.
But do you guys think Happy knew?
So this
No.
is so Marshall had this whole thing about our employee here, Marshall. He has this whole thing that Happy knows. There's a scene in early, and I think Marshall's actually got something. There's a scene earlier where he said they were clearing out the Stark Tower, the Avengers Tower.
Yeah.
And he said, what does he say? Like, oh, I didn't take you for a surfing type, but I got your surfboard, right? When Telos and the Skrulls first appear on Earth and Captain Marvel, what do they transform into? The surfers, right? That Marshall seems to think that's like a coded message of like, hey, get your Skrull shit out of here, like,
Well, the
stuff's
thing
going on.
is Happy gets in his
Okay.
face like towards the end of the movie, and you're like, yeah, Happy wouldn't get
why would
in Nick
Happy would
Fury's
not get in
face.
Nick Fury's face?
But, okay, can we-
I'm going with
Happy knows.
this
Happy knows.
that Happy might have known.
No, that is
but
fucking
this is
bullshit.
the
Happy-
thing.
hold on,
I love Marshall,
hold
and
on.
that is a great shout, but
Happy's,
that's too tenuous.
But why
too
would he
tenuous.
why would he have this weird conversation about you have a surfboard that you
Because
have
he
to
was
go pick up?
awkwardly trying to.
Yes, he was trying to say some
Say something in
batshit crazy,
code.
out of nowhere nonsense. That's what I thought. When I saw it, I didn't pick that up.
So-
I thought that he was just trying to say something weird that would get him to be like, "What?" Because, by the way, he didn't react like, "Oh, I couldn't imagine what you're possibly talking about." He was like, "What the fuck?"
Well, so
Like,
Happy
don't ever come. Like, what?
Happy. I mean,
And by the way,
Tony Stark's gone.
Skrulls have shifted a fucking bajillion times. You think that they're remembering what their first shapeshift was on this one Earth when they've been to a million Earths?
I thought it was a good call from Marshall, but with the Skrulls,
No, bad call from Marshall. Bad Marshall.
With Happy, I mean, he's not working with Tony Stark anymore, right? So what's he doing?
Yeah.
Right. Working with Nick Fury. So why wouldn't he know that Nick Fury was?
Well, why is he not
I kind of got the impression he was working with Pepper.
But was he?
Well, that's what they made it sound
Let's
with
see,
the
I mean, you
with
could
the check at the beginning and that kind of stuff.
and then the check. Yeah. The check.
The giant check.
The
for
giant
the
check.
charity.
Giant check at the beginning.
But that, yeah, I don't know. But he's like he's talking with Nick Fury.
It was
and
fucking
stuff,
signed by
so-
Pepper. What?
Yeah, no, I mean, yes, it's clear that it was signed by Pepper, but
So the video that I put on the Facebook
podcast.
group from Screen Crush.
yeah.
I didn't actually get to see it.
Okay,
Sorry.
well, his argument is that Fury has been a Skrull since
No.
No.
Hold on. Wait. I'll just tell you why he says this.
Because he didn't cut his bread the right way.
Well, and
already confirmed is right.
I know, but what I'm saying is, I don't think you can say. I don't even want to get into it. Never mind.
Well, the thing is,
I'm not gonna say gun to my head. Happy knows. I don't care.
no,
Doesn't
yeah,
matter.
that's what I.
yeah.
But like
He knows or doesn't know. It doesn't really affect the plot.
But but the thing is what that end credit scene does for the Nick Fury character is allow for something else to happen with Captain Marvel or the Guardians 3, post whatever.
Post Endgame, Nick Fury's like, I'm gonna go work with her. I'm going out into space. Telos, you stay here. You get to be my guy on Earth. You're and they're gonna do.
But the thing is
they're gonna continue the Kree Skrull War stuff. They're going to in Captain Marvel.
But one thing, you have to give Samuel L. Jackson credit for playing Nick Fury, not Nick Fury,
not being Nick Fury.
But you have to give the man credit. Not to mention playing Mysterio Nick Fury at the same time.
Yeah.
Well, I guess my mentality on it is, regardless of why they had that scene, I applaud the writers for recognizing Nick Fury's not quite like we're having to make enough leaps here. We're going to have to explain why Nick Fury isn't
Yeah.
Sure.
And you know
rather
what?
than just writing it off.
A scene I would like, maybe it's a deleted scene, and I don't mean you need to stop the movie for this. Make it a minute long, literally. Science nerd Peter Parker has just met this guy from a multiverse.
Yeah.
I want a scene. The scene I felt I was waiting for was, tell me about your world. What happened? How'd you get here? How many worlds have you been to? That, like, nobody, you just drop, he's from Earth 873, and then we just move on.
Yeah, have we gotten back to Mysterio?
Just that part.
They don't go in detail about it, but they do kind of brush over it with the elementals
way too much
and how his world is destroyed, and they touch on it a little bit with the ring, but yes, I don't think Peter's
ring.
Yeah, Mysterio's character had a wedding ring on.
Oh, was that the source of his powers allegedly?
No, it was just part of the act,
the story.
The story. It was a prop.
That his wife died.
And his
Oh,
family.
so he was wearing a ring, and so
he was wearing. And the thing is, you
have
have these little things, but I think what you're like, I get what you're saying, where there wasn't that Peter Parker kind of excitement towards multiverse.
And again, you don't need to stop the movie.
Yeah.
Just throw in 3 lines of dialogue where it says, "Kid, I don't really want to talk about it. It's just sore subject."
Could you throw in 0 lines of dialogue and make Nick Fury less of an idiot? Like when he shows up in the catacombs of fucking Venice, and Mysterio's just hanging out there. It was like, this is the most top secret organization in the fucking world. Like You're obviously very chummy with Mysterio. He's just hanging out with his mask off.
I still like the bitch. You've been to space.
I don't know. The part of that bothered me was the fact that Nick Fury went, "You don't need a mask on. Everybody knows." That was way too sort of casual. Like, yeah, don't protect your identity here.
Well, yes, and so this is thrown into wild disarray with the fact that, like, you know, how much of it was actually Mysterio's tech versus how much of it was just Skull nincompoop. Skrulls being nincompoops.
Oh, Jesus.
That's a made-up word, too. So, anyway.
It's not.
Nincompoopses.
Oh, poopses.
I'm trying to, like, pluralize nincompoops.
Poopsies.
Poops is the plural.
Like one
nincompoops.
A nincompoop is the singular.
Okay. So
Skrulls being
all of
nincompoops.
All of S.H.I.E.L.D. would be nincompoops.
Yes.
Okay. All of S.H.I.E.L.D. being nincompoops.
Well, S.H.I.E.L.D. was Hydra at one point.
And it's also not S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah.
at this
Yes.
point. We don't even know what it is. It's just random
it's
dudes.
just-
right.
But that's
so
why I'm
it was How I Met Your Mother and Nick Fury.
Well, if you think about it, all the
And
other
a group of
characters,
and like
mercenaries.
2 other dudes.
they like don't say shit during the whole movie.
Yes.
They've got to be Skrulls, right?
Yeah.
I mean, isn't that the whole his?
So that's what watching the movie until the end credit scenes.
You would just
I'm
think
like,
they were just
what the
random
fuck?
dudes.
They're like best friends with Mysterio, and then I'm like, okay, look. So my main problem with Mysterio that I kept waffling back and forth after seeing the movie, even though I had the fucking,
I just like to see you waffle. It'd just be funny to watch you
I
waffle.
all the time. I waffle with my pancakes. I waffle with my Belgian waffles. So I'm
Don't lose your point.
Okay. ADD. Get it under control. ADD. Get it under control. All right. So, like, if I'm the fucking most paranoid man on the earth running the world's secret police in charge of, like, owning everything, and I'm super upset and bummed.
But he's not.
Yeah,
But
S.H.I.E.L.D.'s gone.
But he says, like, he's lamenting about the fact that, like, he used to know everything and now he knows nothing because of the blip. By the way, lamest ass name ever, the blip. Could they get a better name? Yes, they definitely could have gotten a better name than the blip. Could they have gotten a better name than Nightcat? What
Night Monkey?
Night Monkey.
Night Monkey
no,
rules.
that was the best like fake name, real name ever. But it's like Mysterio. I could only imagine during the movie, before the after credits scene, Mysterio, like, show us a burst of flame from your hands, like anything that like he wouldn't be able to do because he's not an actual superhero. He's not an actual Iron Man. They like, and when he like, so when he flies up. When Jake Gyllenhaal flies up to, like, Peter Parker sitting on the fucking banister balcony, whatever, it's like, Jake Gyllenhaal, like, flies up there. I guess that was all, like, drone tech that flew him up there? Like, is he
That would be
standing
my
on the
assumption.
drones?
Yeah.
Well, but he's
Because
in
he
the
has
suit.
smoke all over him to cover them.
He's in the suit sometimes. I mean, so
Yeah.
that could
But when he
have been
flies,
him.
he's got a big smoke trail,
Yeah,
which I assume covers the drones that are carrying him.
Yeah.
So, okay,
So it could be him.
so is that it? He's just got, like, always got drones? I mean...
And like when he's in the bar, I mean, that's him, right? I mean, he gets the glasses, so he's not. It's not always fake. He's there sometimes.
Okay, so I guess that I've just wildly misunderstood like how powerful these drones are and how quickly they're able to just manufacture these drones because they do 3D holographic tech.
Yeah.
It's like there's got to be some artist rendering. You have to like any software engineer knows you have to be able to like have assets that
They
you're
do. They show this.
That was a whole.
No. But like if you're just randomly flying to like some random place, like.
But again, I think the drones are like. I think what Kevin said, the drones are carrying him.
They carry him.
He's
because
not flying.
Remember, he has that cloud thing below him.
But all the
so he kind of puts them on like sandals.
Sure, but all the impromptu shit that Nick Fury is like, oh, so you came from this like alternate Earth. Like even the idiot fucking Talos could be like, well, tell me a little bit about your Earth, and I'm sure that his writer had a great story. But like, it's so tenuous. It's so like this guy.
Or maybe Talos is like, sure, whatever, I don't care. It doesn't matter where you're from. Wow, what do I care?
I guess, but like,
he's like, I'm not even from this Earth.
When I'm watching
impersonating
this, and I'm like, and I didn't know about Talos during the movie, I'm like, wait a minute, this guy seems to have like convinced the world's secret police. The worldwide secret police that he's just from this alternate world.
Again, even if that was just the regular Nick Fury,
and if they're like,
he's
okay, can you show us some of your laser blasters? Like, look, if he says to Iron Man, show us some superpowers, no problem. Thor, show us some superpowers, no problem. Mysterio, show us some superpowers. Like, he can't just like render those assets sight unseen, right?
At the same,
not that he's quizzing all of them. I'm just saying that like all of these superheroes are able to like Vision like picks up Thor's hammer in Avengers 2, right? Like that's something that like you can't just like fake. Mysterio is like not a superhero except for his like preconceived shit that he like renders in like these big open areas. So like then he just like goes and hangs out with them. He has this very tenuous story about being from an alternate Earth that Talos is a fucking idiot. But when I'm watching the movie, it's like, okay, Nick Fury just sort of agrees that he's from this alternate universe without seeing any proof.
Sure.
I mean, he's seen space people.
He's not seen any alternate reality people, and he's seen no proof as to it, and he doesn't need any proof as to like Mysterio's actual like superpowers.
So,
because by the way, he can't just.
You gotta just say it, Charlie.
In general,
Charlie,
I agree with you,
what?
except for the fact that Quentin Beck specifically said, "I can't believe they bought your dumbass story."
Well, they do see it, right? When they're in that very opening part of the movie, where they see the Mexico or something like that. Like, they see that fight, and he pops up, and he's fighting the thing, and they're like, oh, shit. Like, so they do trust him,
right?
At least
I'm more talking about, like, when he's hanging out with them in the catacombs,
It's not a party. If it was a party, I could understand your logic, but they're there on business.
There's no logic here.
They're there to change Peter's trip. That is what they're there for.
Okay, that is a whole nother nitpick.
They're not there to party.
Is it when he says Thor is off-world, Doctor Strange unavailable? By the way, there's a fucking bunch of others that are like more suited to this shit than Peter Parker, but he seems to like Peter Parker like half trying to be like cop out of it by suggesting these superpowered guys that are way more qualified for it, and they're just like keep on throwing like excuses why they can't be available. It's like, first of all, you haven't even gone through the whole list. Second of all, your reason for like Spider-Man is unavailable. As much as Doctor Strange is, he says Doctor Strange is unavailable. Like Spider-Man, like, okay, Doctor Strange unavailable. I guess we let the Earth die because as far as we know in the movie, the fucking elemental lords are going to destroy the Earth. So we can't get like Doctor Strange or Captain Marvel to come save the fucking Earth. We have to rely on the teenager who's on his fucking summer field trip with a bunch of science nerds and teachers that aren't even scientific. What the fuck?
I'm sure Mysterio was like, look, I need this kid specifically for this one part. Yeah,
no, he didn't even see him until Venice.
He'll be the one. But he knows that he has the tech.
The tech. Yeah. Because remember,
what's the
lady, the costume lady, the costume lady got the information.
Edith,
the costume lady got the information that Peter was getting the glasses.
Yeah.
Yeah. Again, yes, this all makes sense until you realize it's all a fucking scam. The questions you're posing are legitimate questions until you realize it's all fake. And then it's like, well, it doesn't. Clearly, he was just like, we need this one guy to get him here. He's the one that can help us. Why? Because, well, it's all fake. We just have to get him here somehow.
Yeah, they bought that it was from a multiple Earths. They're going to buy that I need Spider-Man.
Yeah.
I just cannot believe that S.H.I.E.L.D. buys that he's from...
It's not
S.H.I.E.L.D. S.H.I.E.L.D. is gone.
Yeah. It's
okay,
also
but until you see the after credit scene and you're watching the movie and you're like... How is
No,
Shield,
Shield
which has
has
been
been
the
gone
preeminent?
since Winter Soldier.
Yeah, Shield's been gone forever at this point.
No, but you still believe in Nick Fury. You still believe in Maria Hill.
Yeah.
You still believe in, like, if Nick Fury has a close-knit team, you got to believe that it's the close-knit team that he trusts. He relies on those folks until you see the after-credit scene again.
Right.
You're just like, okay, this is his, like, tight crew. And then it's like, okay, you were all apparently duped by this unstable idiot that is just a theater director.
Bryce, would that scene have bothered you as much if he had said Doctor Strange unavailable, blah blah, Vision can't come, Scarlet Witch on vacation, Captain America busy? If they went through every name, would it be worse or better?
That is a great question that I guess I haven't thought through enough, because, like,
Falcon,
it would
Winter
have been
Soldier
way
doing a
too,
TV show.
It would have been way too aggressive for them to go through the whole list.
Vision
But my
Wakanda
point
doing some
is
comedy
that, like,
shit.
they didn't go through any of the list.
Right.
They went through two people,
Yeah.
and both had weak-ass excuses for saving the fucking Earth.
Oh.
Where it's like, okay, could you have gone to, like, a third? Like, there are so many more names that you're going to rely on literally a 16-year-old who has no, like, cosmic level powers, and they're just like, okay, these cosmic related threats. There are so many, like Vision. I forget where we left off with Vision. By the way, I forgot that Black Widow died apparently, but she was in the memoriam in the very beginning. Hashtag spoiler alert. Hashtag feminism. Well, we don't want to forget.
They should have at least mentioned Captain America, because that would probably be the name that they would go to first in that situation.
But Falcon
if
Cap?
Thor is off, because he's still kind of a quote unquote employee
Yeah.
So
of Shield.
It's not
what I
Shield.
know,
the
you know what-
mission bothers
Nick
me
Fury-
less
Nick Fury
than
and his
the
commandos.
quote
Howling
unquote
commandos.
meeting they were supposed to go to afterwards.
What was it again?
So
For you though.
Do you want me to punch him?
for you, Bryce.
I can punch him.
No,
See, the
keep
thing
going.
is,
No.
Bryce,
So fighting the one elemental,
Yeah.
depending on situation, I don't really mind that there weren't other people there. But the whole idea of
Totally
going
agree.
to the way Nick Fury kind of sold it, assuming that was Nick Fury and not an illusion, was Beck was going to become the new, like, linchpin in planetary defense.
Yeah. Agree with that.
And it's weird not to have other people there. It's weird to go from
Exactly.
a Avengers.
but
linchpin to
this
planetary
is the
defense to-
ultimate comic conundrum.
Yeah.
Why doesn't the Flash just solve every problem on Earth every
Yeah,
single
I know.
time? Why doesn't Doctor Strange just go bleh and everything's good?
And
it doesn't.
That's why. That's because the DC universe is fundamentally flawed in that exact capacity. The Marvel, no, I'm not joking. The Marvel universe to this point doesn't have that problem because they're all much more like
until you get a gauntlet.
Well, to me,
right or Captain Marvel. I don't know why that's so funny, but or until
Kevin's
like
reaction.
Captain Marvel
Yeah.
like comes into play.
Yeah.
But like until then, everybody is still on the table, and everybody is more powerful than Spider-Man. Not
Which-
everybody, okay, but you know what I mean. Like there's a fucking ton.
only applies when Nick Fury's in play.
Yeah, and as far as we knew, he was in play.
Yeah. But I'm just saying that when it comes to the ultimate answer to call in whoever you need, it only works when Nick Fury's in play, because Nick Fury has the pager for Carol, when Nick Fury's not actually in play, which is part of the reason why you get the after credit scene.
So, are you saying this movie sucked because Nick Fury was in space?
No, I'm saying
Sounds
a
exactly-
lot of
Kevin's
it
gonna say
is
something. He's
easy to
struggling.
kind of just be wiped
jump
away
in,
because
Kevin.
Nick
Just
Fury's
jump
in
in.
space.
No.
Establish dominance.
Have you listened to some of these episodes where there's like 8 people cross talking at the
Yeah, I
same
know.
time?
No,
It's
but you
brutal.
have to establish
I'm not gonna
dominance.
Contribute. Going back to Ryan's point,
But as I was saying,
in the Galactus trilogy, why didn't the FF call in the Avengers, the X-Men, everybody else to help out? Why is it just them? Well, you have to
can't.
just let that go.
Yeah.
And I agree with you, which brings me to a disagreement about this movie overall. That's what I was bringing up at the very beginning. Because this is such a Marvel-heavy movie, it's not a single Spider-Man issue. It's full of all these other characters, so I would expect them to go to this long list
Right.
before they went to Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Because he's a guest star in
Yeah.
this movie. If
Yeah.
it's a single issue of Spider-Man with him and Mysterio and this threat,
yes.
great. Then I'll forget that the Avengers are there in the FF. You just have to read a single issue. But because this is so continuity heavy and bogged down with all these other characters and connections, you can't wave it off.
That is an amazing point. It is so because Infinity War and Endgame were the bookends to this thing, to this whole arc. I don't know what you call it, but like, and then this is the epilogue.
It's like the coda.
This is like
this,
I don't know what that is, but that sounds right. Like like it is the fucking shoe at the end of the bookhorn. I don't know. Bookhorn. The bookhorns? Is bookhorn a thing? I just made it up. You're welcome, bookmakers. Okay, so like, yes, I agree. If this was the Spider-Man only thing, there's nobody else to help out. But the fact that, like, he even deigns to mention Thor and Strange and then stops and is like, well, I guess you got me. I guess I am the only one left. Motherfuckers, I guess I'll fight all the elemental lords, even though I'm a fucking 16-year-old that doesn't have control of my powers or bring my suit as far as I know.
But it's a new character. We're dealing with Night Monkey now.
Night Monkey's great. Hashtag love my monkey. So anyway, yeah. Look, I don't want any of this to be taken away from the fact that I think what they did with Mysterio is fantastic. Like, when Mysterio is in his element, like, I never would have believed that Mysterio would ever be like a credible villain, and I do think that they did that properly. Yeah. Aunt May is still hot. I love the fact.
I love hot Aunt May.
Hashtag feminism. Okay, so
shall we talk about the mid-credit scene?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, when I was in New York City, we stayed at the New Yorker.
Oh, look
a
at
few
me,
weeks
fancy
ago.
Ryan Higgins. I went in a plane.
And so it was like a month ago or
You
whatever.
realize he's going to have me beat your comic books up before
We
shipping
literally,
this
that was, our hotel was right, I mean, whatever, you live in New York, you're like, yeah, whatever, it's just a street in New York. But it was weird to be like, wait, I know exactly where that is, because I was staying right at that hotel that they were standing in front of. I was like, I went to that, like, not a CVS, it's whatever weird name they call it over there. I was like, I went there, like...
Dwayne Reed.
Yeah, there you go. I was like, I was right there. Like, I know exactly where this is. I literally stayed at that corner that he's at across from the
Jumbotron, screen thing.
Well, the fucking what's
I'm Ryan Higgins. I was Spider-Man's extra.
what's the big?
I was a stunt double
place.
when he was standing
Times
on the
Square?
streetlight.
No, the big place that's right there that has all the concerts and the
Not Times Square?
events and everything.
Madison Square Garden.
Thank you very much. And Robert's like, huh. That's kind of cool. I was just right there. It's a very recognizable little area.
Bryce, before you get loaded up on this one, you know what I loved about the mid-credit scene?
Beat me to it.
Here's what I loved about the mid-credit scene, besides a certain character appearing. It was so refreshing. I just went, here, I'm going to make for those listening.
This was your solo Spider-Man movie.
It was Spider-Man swinging through Manhattan. And I just went, fuck yes. That's what I want to see. Yeah. I don't want to see him fighting elementals and destroying Venice. That's not Spider-Man. That's like Spider-Man and...
Yeah, Far From Home. Yeah.
Well, I can guarantee you that's going to be the third movie. Right back.
That was my point.
Yeah.
Like, I want to get to that third movie. I want it, like, tomorrow.
Yeah.
Spider-Man fighting a villain in New York City with no other Marvel or MCU characters in it. None.
So,
well, I guarantee you that's not going to happen.
I know that.
We got to have Happy.
So
we don't.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. What? Yeah. What do you mean? Yeah, we do. We do not have to have Happy. Why was Happy even? He did not need to be in this. They could have had some other character that was not related to Iron Man at all.
No, I like having Tony and Happy kind of having their, or Peter and Happy kind of having their moments, dealing with the death of Tony and everything like that. I think it worked. So, this is the only thing that the internet spoiled for me before the movie was that J.K. Simmons was in this movie.
Really?
Oh, yeah, I love that. That was so awesome. Yeah. I had no idea. That was so great. When that happened, I was like, fuck yeah, he was the greatest.
There were pictures of him at the premiere, and I was like, why would J.K. Simmons be there unless he's in the movie? And
you are such a fucking phony about your lack of spoilers.
I didn't want to see it.
You've been spoiled by like fucking everything.
It was just like
I hate spoilers too.
Live images from the thing. It's on Twitter. It's on like official accounts. Here's J.K. Simmons.
Here's the solution. Don't go on fucking Twitter as much as you do.
So he looked weird.
Yeah.
Did he look older? You fucking ageist.
But he didn't look. Yes, he looked older. But that's not. He looked. I don't know.
He didn't have the flat top.
Yeah, but that was just that's.
Is that because J.K. Simmons is older?
Sure,
fucking ageist.
But like. He looked odd.
Well, he's also on a curved TV, giant screen.
No, he had I don't know. He just looked weird.
These next 10 minutes of the podcast.
Well, he's missing
brought
It's
to you
okay.
by
It was amazing.
Ryan Higgins saying
Yeah,
the same
he's
thing.
amazing.
Us trying to guess
Yeah.
what the fuck
That's
he's-
the best casting in the history of Marvel movies.
is.
He's the Matt
no.
Ryan of
No.
the Marvel
No.
universe.
Simmons is JJJ.
It is
he's-
perfect. It is
JJJ,
amazing.
dude. That's
Better casting is Robert Downey Jr.'s Iron Man. And I would argue
okay.
Paul Rudd as Ant-Man.
Let me amend.
Okay, wait. No.
Wait, hold on.
I will grant you J.K. Simmons as JJJ better than Paul Rudd. Okay, I will give you that. I just still think that Paul Rudd
Best
is amazing.
supporting character casting in the history of MCU.
Yeah.
MCU, yes. But how fucking good is Michael Caine as Alfred?
Yeah, I said MCU.
I know. I was granting you that. I just wanted to talk about Michael Caine.
Okay.
What do you think of John Wick as Moon Knight? Because that's the big casting rumor we're all hearing right now.
Okay,
So.
Keanu Reeves could. I forget what I stole this from, but I stole it from something. Keanu Reeves could read a fucking phone book, and I watched that movie.
Bryce, what did you not like about the mid-credit scene? You said you hated the two scenes
Yeah.
at the end.
Easily the most shocking mid-credit scene to date. I was like, where are they going to go with this? And then his reaction.
No. Wait. I don't.
Home Alone
I've
reaction?
seen
Spider-Man.
misrepresented. I did not like the mid-credit. I did not like the end credit scene.
Post-credit.
I did.
post-credit
Yes,
scene.
I.
You
yeah.
like the mid credit.
Okay. No. I wouldn't say that I liked it. I thought that it was batshit crazy.
Oh.
I thought my mind was blown. I did not know what was going to happen.
Well, there is so Mysterio has like this death video that
By the way,
goes out.
can we acknowledge
that
okay,
says
I'm watching it.
Peter Parker is Spider-Man, right? So there's two reactions. The first reaction is the Justice League Unlimited reaction of I have no idea who this is, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Most people's
Right.
reaction. But second, nobody has secret identities in this universe, in the MCU. So does it even matter?
Well, but he sets it up as the world is now going to hate Spider-Man. By the way, Spider-Man is Peter Parker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, this brings me to
And
another.
Fake news.
Well, they did
me,
Alex
I
Jones,
just-
JJ a little bit.
A lot of it.
I kind of feel like,
trying to be
in
nice.
general, with the Marvel movies, a lot of this stuff always feels like I just have to wait for the next movie. Unfortunately, when it comes to Spider-Man, I have to wait for the next Spider-Man
movie. Yeah.
Yeah.
before this pays off.
Yeah.
I believe they had Jameson called Mysterio the greatest superhero in history, which
Yeah.
was awesome.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah, JJJ was fantastic. Okay, what was I going to get really upset about for just a second?
I love that mid-credit scene. Oh! This is the question: is Mysterio dead?
Okay, so first of all, he's
No.
definitely not dead.
He's definitely not dead. Thank you.
Separate from that, what the fuck was when the graphics guy was uploading something? Was that mid credits
so.
video?
Yeah, that's what.
Yeah.
That
Okay.
is.
Either way, regardless of that, he's definitely not dead.
No. Yeah. Yeah, when the glasses are like, oh well, no life signs. It's like, yeah, sure, fuck off. Of course he's alive.
Higgins just did like a jerking off thing, like
Look,
imitation
it's
in real
Mysterio.
life.
If there's a character,
If you know Higgins, you know that is not to be taken lightly because
If
he
there's
never
a-
does that shit.
like when everyone came with like, no, they said he's from an alternate universe. He's a really a good guy in this movie. If I can blow it out your ass, he's a villain. He's a fucking villain. It's
Did it
Mysterio.
again.
It's
Jesus
Mysterio. And so is Mysterio dead? Of course he's not.
We need
dead.
to get a just a.
But
GIF
I'm
of
not-
Ryan doing that so we can post it.
0.0% chance
happen
he's
enough that
dead.
we can
Okay.
I agree with you on principle at the fact that he's not dead, but I also have no clue if he'll ever appear in the movies again.
Oh, Secret
Well,
Six movie,
He could,
baby.
he could be in that same
Secret
prison
Six?
with the Vulture and the
Hell yeah.
Scorpion.
Secret Six.
Sinister Six.
Thank you.
Close enough.
That movie's never.
No
Okay,
way.
here's the note that I jotted down immediately, and I want to know if you guys saw this because I burned this into my retinas. A construction sign that
Yeah.
Spider-Man and Mary Jane swing
I heard.
past. Is this?
I saw this.
Did you notice it? Because
I didn't notice it, but other people-
immediately
other
jotted
people
this down
talked
so I
about it.
wouldn't forget. It says on a construction of a skyscraper, "We can't wait to show you what comes next." And on the sign, it shows 1, 2, 3 question mark.
Yeah.
One of the numbers is blue, one is red, one is orange, and then the other one is
Oh, white.
nothing, like
Yeah,
white.
Yeah.
I missed that, but
Yeah,
that is
yeah,
amazing.
Yep.
I missed that, and that is amazing
right?
for me.
So they talk about the new owners of the Stark Tower and everything like
Yes.
that. It's gonna be the Baxter building.
Yes.
It's gonna be
It's their fantastic.
Oh!
It's their fantastic.
Yeah,
Four team.
because each of the numbers is a color
Is a
of
color
one of the
of-
numbers,
yeah.
except for the question mark is like
Invisible.
white.
Invisible.
Oh, fucking, that's so awesome!
Did you just get that?
I didn't see that during that scene.
No, I didn't see it either.
when he
I saw
detailed it out, did you
I didn't
not
see the
understand as he was detailing it out?
No, I thought that he was talking about the Marvel phases of movies because there's been 3 phases.
Well, they joke about the phase,
Which is not a fucking unfair
Hey,
thing for
phase
me
4
to.
at the end of phase 4 is Fantastic Four.
I'm sure not the end. Phase 4 for Fantastic Four.
Wait a minute. I have so much more fucking.
Even if it's just fan service, like a little Easter egg that pays off for nothing, I thought it was so cool.
Yeah.
In New York City, at a high rise, a construction sign for the Baxter Building.
Yeah, because they talk about the new owners of the tower, right? Don't they? They mention that in this.
Well,
because that's when they're telling
that's
him
Happy.
he's
That's
clearing out
Happy's,
his stuff.
Yeah, Happy's clearing out.
Yeah.
And of course, when they're fucking done swinging through Manhattan, Zendaya is like, "I am never doing that again." Like, fuck you, Joy Kill. She's so fucking angry to have gone on the fucking joyride of her life, and her first reaction is, "I'm never doing that again." Yeah, no fucking shit.
You want a Beetlejuice movie with her playing Lydia? Like,
that would be awesome.
That would be fucking not awesome because there would be another Beetlejuice movie or another movie with emo Zendaya. Fuck that shit. Okay,
So don't watch Euphoria.
it's on HBO.
Yeah.
It's probably got a great production value.
It does.
It does, but don't watch it.
Bryce.
Have we
Hold
talked
on.
about the
I
end
need
of Game
to-
of Thrones? Fuck
I
that
need
shit.
to derail this podcast for just 3 seconds. You watched Chernobyl yet?
No, is it good?
Oh my god, it's the fucking best show on.
I will
of the
watch
year.
it.
No question asked. Best show of the year.
It's not really DC at all. Is there like a DC hero called Chernobyl?
Yes.
I am shocked by this because normally, if history is a guide, I would drop the name of that show and say how good it is, and I would get like a blank stare from that end
No,
of the
it's
table.
fucking incredible.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
I just can't believe that you tuned into it. Not because it's not superheroes, it's just because you have such a backlog of stuff.
No, hold on.
That's true.
It's not. Hold on. It's Leanne. It's not him.
No, it was me. No, I told her, like, let's watch this. And she actually was kind of a little on it because it gets, a little dog
That is
killing
a
and
great
stuff
shout
at
because
points.
he probably has a
But-
fucking shit ton of CW shows on his DVR
watched
that
them
he
all.
hasn't gotten
No,
to.
Well,
That's me.
I do have a season of Riverdale and a season of
Not to mention
he
all the
watched-
Netflix series.
Black Lightning, and yeah, I do have quite a bit of CW shows. I wanted something a little bit of a palate cleanser, and I was like, let's watch the first movie.
Nothing cleanses your palate like nuclear radiation.
I was like, let's watch the first episode, and I'm like, holy
Yeah.
shit! It's like a horror movie.
Yeah,
it's
it's
incredible.
fantastic. Yeah.
It's amazing. Anyway.
It looks fucking incredible, and
is.
I will get around to watching it. But
It is.
wait, there was one other fucking thing that I was really angry about: Mysterio and Spider-Man.
But that mid-credit scene, that Brock would have said, that Home Alone ending, who's like, like, it's really funny. That
was funny.
kind of like, I was legitimately shocked, like, whoa,
Yes.
holy shit.
I was
They
legitimately
actually
shocked.
outed him. That's pretty crazy.
It does seem like something that in the next movie you could just...
Oh, that's what. I'm sorry.
that you could just like it was just a video prank. I have no idea what this is talking about.
Yeah.
I'm just a kid. I'm obviously not
Well, the thing
Spider-Man.
is it opens up possibilities for what we could do. I mean, you could have that iron armor, or Spider-Man armor swing through the city, and him
Yeah.
be
problem-
separate from it. Like
The problem is we have like 3 years, right? So it's like, oh, he's been outed for 3 years now. Like, to me, you're kind of keeping these movies that like actually like aging them naturally.
Exactly. How old is
It's
Tom Holland in real life?
Weird, 20-something.
Yeah, and he's playing a 16-year-old. Like in 3 years. No, I'm not saying it's like necessarily bad. I'm just saying
Yeah.
like it's like the Harry Potter effect where like Tom Holland is going to be fucking 29 playing a 19-year-old. Like at some point it's going to break. Okay, look.
Well,
So this
so I earlier before you got here, Bryce, I said I had a concern and that I was so happy it didn't happen, and I'm not happy that the character isn't
what
there.
didn't happen.
I'm happy it didn't happen yet because we all know in Spider-Man 3, because of the time jump, they're going to introduce Miles Morales, and I was so concerned that he was going to come and be like the post-credit scene in this. Look, I'm fine with Miles if they want to put him in the third one. That's totally cool. But I'm glad we didn't get to him yet. I don't want Miles there till we've had at least a couple more.
now, is Miles going
Peter
to
Parker adventures.
introduce the actual multiverse?
No,
of the Marvel universe?
he was a 12-year-old kid that's now 17, or
I don't want Miles in these at all.
He's
Keep
gonna
him
be
in the
there.
Spider-Verse.
He's gonna be
movie.
there.
They're making another Spider-Verse movie.
Are they really?
yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
let
yeah.
him.
By the
let
way,
him
the
run that.
Spider-Verse movie was great.
I agree.
He's gonna be there. You know he's gonna be there.
But he's going to be younger than.
I mean, he'll be younger,
17.
right? So
he's going to be like.
Peter will be
So-
20-something, and he'll be 16, right? Because of the time jump.
So do you think we're not going to see Spider-Man in another movie until Spider-Man 3?
I mean, I don't know. What would he be in, right? And I don't actually know. Is there any more MCU Spider-Man movies?
Okay, now I hate
You know better than me.
I don't know
I
what-
didn't know that all these movies were already
don't know
planned.
what the
I thought
contract-
that we hadn't had anything announced but Eternals. And I don't even know if that's been announced.
Yeah, it was.
I meant to download this so I could read it, and I totally forgot.
Is
so
it porn?
Forgive me, I'm going off the top of my head. This is a newsletter that I subscribe to, was talking about the deal between Sony and Marvel.
Yeah.
And one of the provisions of this deal was if – I'm going to get the titles mixed up. What's the one we're talking about now? Far From Home. If Far
Endgame. Spider-Man
Yeah,
Endgame.
Spider-Man Endgame, as it's now known.
Homecoming of Endgame to Far.
Okay. If Far From Home made $1 billion worldwide, a provision in this deal is triggered that – and here's where I apologize for setting this up and flubbing the punchline.
Not being.
Either the rights revert fully back to Sony going forward, or Marvel gets rights of first refusal to make Spider-Man 3.
It has to be the other way. It has to be.
Yeah.
If
I
it
would
makes
think.
$1 billion
Sony opted
worldwide.
into this relationship
Yes.
with Marvel.
Yeah, I would assume it has to be. If it makes that much money, then Disney gets the rights for
They don't have to make a third
Right,
one, but they get the
right,
right
right.
of first refusal.
Yeah, because I know Venom 2's in production. I know they still want to do that Black Cat
Still.
movie. They want to
Still?
Yeah, there's like all these. They want to have like their whole like Spider U
Morbius.
Morbius, and is that soon? Like
That's supposedly filming this year.
yeah, so.
Whatever happened with-
but the
sorry, go ahead.
Spider-Man movies exist sort of in this nebulous space between the MCU and that. So I don't know. I don't know what they're gonna do. But yeah, I have to assume Disney's there will be at least a third one, and that's
Didn't they
that's-
already slate a Carnage movie with Woody Harrelson?
that probably. But that's
Woody Harrelson?
Didn't you see Venom?
No, he didn't.
I didn't.
oh, Venom's incredible. It's a lot like Chernobyl.
Bad.
It's very similar.
Yeah, it's like Chernobyl. There are people speaking English on film.
So for the
Other than that, it is not
So
like
for the
Chernobyl.
fans of the podcast that have all tuned out now, what I maintained to this day was a drunk call from Scott Shea and Higgins, by which only Scott Shea was drunk because Higgins only has one Guinness, and Guinness is, by the way, like 4.5% or something. And they're like, Bryce, we just got out of Venom. It was incredible. Oh wait, so it was good or bad? It was something. You
It was
should
a
have
mess.
seen it.
Oh,
Wait,
it's
does that mean
terrible.
that it was good or bad? It was quite a movie. You should have seen the movie. Scott, motherfucker, was it good or was it bad? It was hilarious. Scott, holy fucking shit.
It's
was it
not good.
or was it bad?
Okay, let's settle
Ryan
this.
loved it. That doesn't answer my question, Scott. Answer my fucking question. Gotta go. It was fucking driving me crazy. And to this day, I don't know if it was
It's
any
not
good or any
good.
bad.
It's terrible,
It's-
but it's so good.
It's
See?
a bad.
it's
a
very
bad, good
entertaining.
movie.
Okay, all right.
There's a good
It's an
bad movie?
entertaining movie that made way more money than
Too
it
much.
should have.
Like that to me, it is like Suicide Squad and Venom are like these movies have flaws, but holy shit, did people turn out to see these movies?
Yeah.
By the way, whatever happened with Suicide Squad 2? Is that still coming out?
yeah. Yep. They're
Isn't it just
did they
the Suicide
start
Squad?
filming?
No, he said he just wrote the
Did
script.
just finish the script? Yeah, yeah.
And it's the Suicide
It's
Squad
the
now.
Suicide Squad. Yeah.
Anyway, further thoughts on Spider-Man Endgame?
Great. It's
Wait,
good.
what was I just about to talk about? I was about to say more about it. Look, I don't want it to get overshadowed that like this movie was all hot garbage because it was only like I only had problems with large swaths of it, but not the whole thing. Like I thought I did think Tom Holland was great.
Yeah, he's fantastic. I have a bunch of people that replied on Twitter too. I have some comments here. So
Like
I'll get to those.
the action scenes were great. Traveling across Europe was great. I fucking love the Netherlands because the Netherlands is great. What else? There was another like nitpick that I had that I've forgotten, and it has nothing to do with beer drinking. But no, I mean, I came out of the movie like, oh, I should definitely like it because I've already said this. I should definitely like it because of what Netflix gave it as a review. But there was just so many
What
incredulous.
Netflix gave it as a review?
I definitely said Rotten Tomatoes in my head, so you're being mentalist, which is some sort of discrimination. Rotten Tomatoes gave
You're
it.
being a mental. What is?
Rotten Tomatoes gave it a great review, and I was like, so it must be good. And it was I don't know. I just had too many nitpicky problems with it. Yeah, the mid-credit scene I thought was fantastic. Physics aside, as he swings this person across the city, very comic book friendly. One scene in quote unquote real life is like, no, that's not possible. But I just fucking hate Talos. I hate that actor. He's got the worst lisp of the Skrull Empire. He fucking was the worst. Like seriously. Nick Fury, blip or no blip, is like, oh god, I hate the blip. Is like, oh, well, I'm gonna go on vacation because fuck all y'all. And then he puts Talos in charge, or Talos, I don't care which one of them he puts in charge. He's the biggest fucking buffoon, as proven, by the way, in Captain Marvel. And then he's like, yeah, well, things were great, but then things went off the rail and it got really crazy, and you're like, they like close up to his face and you can see that like the mask that they put on the Talos actor was just the absolute worst, and his lips weren't really moving.
Now you sound like Sylvester the Cat.
And it was, and his partner Tweety Bird was suffering. Oh, you got there before me. Anyway, so it's like, seriously, the world's foremost super spy like puts Talos in charge of being Nick Fury, which puts the whole rest of the movie in even more ridiculous jeopardy. So there was another like big nitpick that I had, but I've forgotten. But anyway,
do we have questions?
The action was great. The acting, in a lot of cases, was great.
I'm giving Bryce a Zendaya look right now.
Yeah, and
So-
you're horrible at it.
You have given me a Zendaya look since I met you over a decade ago. You just hate life, and you're just like,
Close. Just brow a little.
One
furrowed.
of my favorite scenes in the movie is him designing his suit.
Yeah,
sure, that was great.
Because one of the things that always bothers me, especially in the other movies, is how much he relied on Stark tech. Well, he was still relying on Stark tech. The fact that he was modifying the tech to the threat is very Spider-Man.
Yeah, I agree.
Like,
Is that what I
most of the-
blacked out? I don't remember that at all.
You don't remember him?
Vehicle.
On the
He's doing
plane.
that in the plane.
When he goes
Right,
to
right,
the beautiful
right, right,
Netherlands
right.
and he lands
Yeah.
on that beautiful tulip
the tulip
field.
field that just blows
Yeah.
up the tulip.
I almost.
But
Typical
the fact that he
Higgins,
was
Toby.
doing the whole, okay, I want to do it this way, I want it to trigger on
just
this.
like
it
Tony
just-
Stark.
It was one
was
of the
just like
first
Tony
elements
Stark,
of him
but-
using science, by the way.
Yes, but that for me is one of the things that I love how smart Peter Parker is.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
which
they-
wasn't showcased at all. I mean, hyperbolic.
Until they basically have him design his own suit.
Yeah.
Take all the sort of blueprints and alter them and change them and design the suit he needs to take on Mysterio.
Well,
Oh, I remember what I'm. Okay,
I love
wait,
that.
before I forget. Okay, look.
if we just could
I'm
have
seriously about to
video
forget,
of
so
his-
I have to talk about it.
Memento?
Wait, what was I just gonna say? Just kidding. Okay, look.
Guy Ritchie.
It's Richie, not Ricci.
Go!
A big problem that I had with this movie was, okay, he wants to get away with this whole thing, and so he wants to silence Peter Parker and his friends. So he's like, who did you tell? To Peter Parker, who did you tell? So that I can silence them so that my secret won't get out. But once his secret gets out to Nick Fury and the world, he has zero motivation as a villain or as an antagonist to go after Peter Parker's or his friends anymore. Maybe grudge match against Peter Parker, but he has zero incentive, character-wise, zero motivation to go after his friends.
It's established that he goes after all of Tony Stark stuff because Tony slighted him.
Right. But
Spider-Man
he
slighted him, so he's going to keep going after
He
Spider-Man.
legitimately likes Peter Parker, but he's going to go after him to silence it, to keep his secret safe. Peter Parker, like
now he's just going after him to be a dick.
Possibly it's like spilled the beans to his roommate and his not even fucking awful goth girlfriend, and so he's gonna kill them. And by the way, like, once his secret is spilled to the world, which it already was, what more motivation does he have?
It wasn't spilled till the end of the movie.
What other motivation does he have to be like, okay, look, I no longer need to, like, he spent...
I'm really confused.
He spent so many of his resources, so much of his resources when he was trying to take over London or convince S.H.I.E.L.D. He was still at that time once his secret was spilled, once all the drones like went away.
Yeah.
And I'm doing air quotes, fucking Nick Fury was like, okay, well, that's some bullshit, and this is fake, and the drones are revealed, right? Then it's like, okay, well, now I don't have to worry about Peter Parker spilling the beans, right? Yes, the answer is yes.
He went after them prior.
He kept on going after them. No, after the drones were revealed, after the smoke monster, hashtag lost, after the air elemental giant one on the Tower Bridge, after that was revealed, okay, his game is kind of up. It's not like Shield is no longer going to be like, oh, Mysterio's still the new Iron Man, right?
He's getting ready for the next spin, and at that point, he still thought he could take out Nick Fury and Maria Hill.
He's still so obsessed with these teenagers, Zendaya and Ned, that he's like spending a significant amount of his time,
as far as I know,
locating drones in the Tower of London.
As far as I know, all he did was say, kill them, and the drones basically went on autopilot. I don't think he was manually...
No, he went on fucking, he went on his fucking Apple iWatch 10.0, and he was controlling them and finding them, and there was way too much screen time dedicated to the fact that Mysterio was still trying to kill them when it's bro, your fucking cover was blown long ago. You think Nick Fury, as far as that point in time, we still thought it was Nick Fury, still thinks that you're the new Iron Man, and you're still trying to kill 16-year-olds in the Tower of London? That to me was 20 minutes of the movie.
Hey, you gotta stay in character.
20 minutes of the movie where he was still trying to kill these kids even though his cover had been blown. It's bro, nobody believes that you're still the new Iron Man or that you're some anything more than you are, but you're still trying to kill Zendaya. Zendaya wants to kill herself, by the way, but other than that,
awkward that you would be rooting for him not to kill her when you don't like her so much.
It does not mean I want to kill her. What the fuck?
Final head scratcher for me was at the end, the mid credits.
Bryce's entire rant.
The mid credits. No. When he's swinging with her, and when they end their journey, and he sets her down right there outside Madison Square Garden, where they're watching that jumbotron, surrounded by hundreds of people. That's weird that this random high school girl just got a ride from Spider-Man.
Exactly, and he's super smoochy and heart-faced, and I love you, and I'll see you later. Okay, I'm just gonna sort of leave you here.
Nobody pays attention to anybody on the streets of New York.
How about the bar scene until they reveal what it was?
What about
with the mask off?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I thought it there.
Okay, well, that is another great point by podcast friend and Mysterio of the podcast, Tobias. That's a great point. Is that he had his mask off for fucking large swaths of this movie, which was fucking bullshit by itself. But my whole thing for the last half an hour of the movie is why is Mysterio? Why is Mysterio still trying to kill these high schoolers?
It's like a Scooby-Doo villain.
You gotta stay in character.
I mean, the fucking jig was up, Scooby-Doo character. Why are you still trying to kill 16-year-olds? Why are you not focusing on your own shit? And it just drove me crazy.
So the fact that at the very end of the movie, he's able to spin it that he was a big hero that was killed by Spider-Man and all that tells me he was not prepared to say, I can't spin this still. I can't fix this if I can take these things out of the equation.
Context.
His whole, having practically future, 3D holographic tech, makes him the villain that he sort of deserves to be, should have been, this whole time in the comics. And so that's why I don't think that he's still dead. I don't think that he'll ever show up again, because I think that...
It's the Secret Six movie, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think that they'll get Jake Gyllenhaal to do, any B movie, which that would have to be. There's no A movie that is...
So this is one of the...
There is no B movie that Jake Gyllenhaal is going to do, which is Secret Six.
This is one of the few cases...
If they do a Secret Six movie, it would be a B movie.
This is one of the few cases where I am really glad I don't know anything about the contracts.
Yeah.
Because so many times in the past, I've been like, oh, so-and-so's going to come back because they signed up for 6 movies.
You think Michael Keaton, Jake Gyllenhaal, whoever else would be the other characters, Tom Holland in a Marvel Comics, Sony,
Sinister
Disney,
Six movie?
Sinister Six movie would be a movie? It would be the biggest fucking movie of the year.
I think that you are wildly misunderstanding what would it be then? Would it be Disney or would it be Sony?
Well, I mean, it'd be...
So that original Sinister Six script from
a couple years
5
ago. Yeah.
that had nothing to do with Spider-Man. That was just the villains together committing crimes.
But whose movie was that?
No,
So that was
spawned
Sony.
That was spawned out of the Rami ones, right?
Raimi.
Oh my god.
No. This
No,
had
that's
no
new.
no
Yeah, yeah.
connection
it's
to
just
Spider-Man
no
at all.
connection to any
nope,
of them? Okay.
No.
I don't see this movie happening, is what I'm saying. Like, you
No.
say, all these A-list movie actors, like, you think that they would be in a B movie? It's like, no, you're being a fucking idiot. I don't think they would be in this movie
We
together.
already have plenty of characters.
Are you fucking listening? I'm saying that this will not happen in real life. You guys have been talking about, like, the renaissance of the DC universe forever, and about how Ben Affleck is gonna save everything. Spoiler alert, he's not even fucking a part of you anymore. So I'm saying, you think that these guys are all gonna be in some Sinister Six movie? That's not real.
No.
To me, it's all a question of the contracts, and that's where Disney has
to
been
who is it
really,
really?
really
Is it to you?
smart
Wait,
with
I'm
their
sorry.
contracts. Because think about it. Who would have thought Iron Man would be in Homecoming? Who would have thought that you would have basically a
But
Avengers
that was a super coup. That was not the norm.
2.5
That was
for Civil War?
that was not the norm.
They have absolutely built contracts around. We want to make sure that you're in these many
When-
A movies. You're in a cameo in this
Bryce.
movie.
Bryce. When Spider-Man appeared in Civil War, and they're like, we have a Venom movie, and a Sinister Six movie, and a Black Cat movie, and a Silver Sable movie, and all this crap. I'm like, yeah, sure you do. The fact that we have 2 of the 6 Sinister Six now as major actors, right? Jake Gyllenhaal.
But one self-described
Shocker
was
too?
awful, and one was a sure thing with Spider-Man.
Don't we have the Shocker too?
Huh?
Like, Spider-Man was always like, no problem, that will 100% like get greenlit and actually happen. Venom was a long shot, and it was self-described as being like quote unquote awful. So you can't say that there
Awful
was
that
like
made
2 like great
855
jobs.
million.
This is the new Avengers. This is Sinister Six. You have to have a practically Avengers level success ratio for all of these movies, dominoes, to fall in place.
Bryce.
Charlie.
Venom made more money than most of the other Spider-Man movies.
And most of the MCU movies.
That's fucking inflation.
But
No,
what
I mean,
I'm saying
it kind of is.
you have 2 actors that can absolutely be 2 major actors that can absolutely be the start of a Sinister Six movie now.
But
a couple
dude,
years
you
ago,
were not
no way in
thinking about the
hell.
contracts. You both said, "I wish I knew about the contracts."
Yeah, I wish I did.
It's like,
Well, I kinda
unless that was already
don't.
locked in, there's no way you get these actors. Just like you've been hoping that Ben Affleck would raise the Batman universe.
I'm not talking about that.
But
It has
again,
all to do with the fucking contracts.
Every single person that's signed for every single Marvel movie, there is always an option for multiple movies.
But Tom Holland. Wait, actually, I don't know. Was he part of the Marvel contracts series?
Yeah, he starts in Civil War. I mean, that's where he started.
Tom Holland.
Yes. Yeah. He's first. Yeah, when he was Spider-Man, it was in Civil War.
Oh, I kept saying Tom Holland, and I meant to not say Tom Holland. I'm thinking of Venom. Tom,
that's different.
It's Tom Hardy. Oh,
Tom Hardy.
damn you, Tom! Why are you such a common name?
You have, at this point, you have 2 very successful Spider-Man movies, but 2 very successful actors playing very successful villains. It would
What are
make
the other
sense.
4?
Huh?
Tom
Who are the other
Holland.
4?
Sure, I believe you get
Sinister
him on
Six?
a
Yeah.
multi-movie contract.
I know
But-
it's changed, but
Well, Venom, you'd have to change it from the comics.
Yeah.
but who's in it? It's
The
Mysterio,
original is Doc Ock,
Goblin,
Mysterio,
Mysterio.
Electro, Lizard, and Sandman.
Okay, so we already have. So you already technically have Mysterio. You have,
Or is it not the Goblin? It's Craven, I think. Anyway,
Yeah.
so one of those is wrong.
but you have Mysterio.
Well, and there's
you
talk
have,
of a Craven. There's talk of a Craven movie too.
Oh,
So
you have-
Please
fucking
let him
God.
look exactly like the comics.
Loincloth and all.
Please, with the giant fur.
yeah. And you have a Shocker.
You
that
have
was in the other
Shocker.
one, right?
So you have Vulture, Mysterio, Shocker. You also have Scorpion, because that was teased at the end of Homecoming. The guy that's in the jail who approaches
yeah, that's
Michael
right.
Keaton
Yeah,
is Scorpion.
And so you basically could just have Green Goblin be your kind of new main lead
Yeah.
of the movie, and you bring in all these big actors to be the other characters.
You can
so.
even bring in a new Doc Ock.
If we were a more popular podcast, there would definitely be somebody that would go back to the old episodes and would listen to exactly the fucking shit that you guys were saying about how this could work for the DC universe. And didn't they try to do this for
What?
the Legion of Doom? Weren't you saying that fucking Facebook Boy would be the Lex Luthor
and he was until they decided to not do that anymore.
that's what I'm saying is this is not going to happen.
I'm not saying it will. I'm saying it would be cool.
Oh,
It would
well,
make
if that's your
sense.
fucking argument, yeah, it would be very cool.
Obviously,
That's
we
your
don't-
argument, is that it would be cool? It would be very fucking cool.
We obviously don't know what's going to happen, but they've talked about a Sinister Six movie a couple years back. It sounded dumb then. It makes sense now. There's this concept, Bryce, called change, where as time progresses,
I've never believed in change, and I will not change.
when time progresses, opinions can differ and things can become more likely or less likely depending on the current situation.
Right, but what has never changed is that you have these crazy-ass ideas that will never happen, and that never changes.
Who thinks, as of right now, a Sinister Six movie featuring these two characters is like a 0% chance?
No.
No.
A 0% chance? I definitely think that. I definitely think that a Sinister Six movie, put me on fucking record, a Sinister Six movie with these two characters.
Michael Keaton and Jake Gyllenhaal?
Yes, 100% will 0% happen.
Okay.
And 100% of the time, it will 0% happen.
Okay.
Episode 409. Stamp Mark it.
2 hours and 23 seconds.
Wait, can I get some fucking, like any other sound clips?
No,
from
because
the
I think
other
any rational person,
4.5 of you,
any rational person goes, that sounds like a moneymaker. It's probably likely.
And all we have to do is
Probably
build
likely.
up another one. You just build up another one in Spider-Man 3.
The question
and then
is,
can
would
have a
you
fourth movie.
need to establish all of them individually, or could you just
No, you could
hand wave a couple and say
can
these are
hand
just
wave-
bad guys?
Well, you can hand wave Scorpion because you've already kind
No,
of.
but I mean, people you've never seen before. Would you have to introduce Electro?
You would have
I guess
to,
it would be the shocker for this.
You would use a shocker for this. You have two more slots.
Sandman was in the other movie, so you don't have to worry about
Sandman.
that. I mean, he was
Holy fucking
in
shit.
the Raimi movie, but you just ignore it and you just have him in there.
Doc Ock?
It doesn't
Yeah.
matter. Yeah, either Doc
You would
Ock
just
or
introduce
Doc.
I like Thomas
one
Jane.
more.
Another Tom. What
You'd
the fuck?
introduce one more and hand.
Maybe the
put it in
Sinister Six is
another.
all Toms.
So anyway, let's move on. We have
Move. So we have more topics.
I want to hear other
Sony
answers.
has all
of
the
course,
Toms.
you two
Hold on.
think that they're
Sony
like,
has all the
this is-
Toms. or Disney has all
Okay,
the Chris's.
Charlie, for you think that there is a greater than 0% chance that these two actors star in a Sinister Six movie?
No, we're
Yes.
not talking.
Wait.
Can we? Oh my God, Kevin.
Are you talking about the Sinister Six being the villains in a Spider-Man movie, or are you talking about going back to the
He's
concept
saying anything.
of a
Either way.
Sinister
He didn't
Six
specify.
movie?
He
way.
said
Either
any.
way.
He said any, and I'm saying any.
Okay, I
No.
say there is a greater than 0% chance of the Sinister Six being the villains in a Spider-Man movie. I say there's a 0% chance of a straight Sinister Six movie with no Spider-Man.
And I'm telling you that these movies you have to think about. They're not going to have the Sinister Six movie as the next movie, right?
No.
Michael Keaton, love Michael Keaton. He's not fucking young. These movies come out like once
maybe
every.
there's the Vulture. So
They
Here you
they
go.
come out
And
once.
Keaton loves playing.
Keaton
these
could age into
characters.
the comic book Vulture by the time they do it.
These movies come out once every other year at the most frequent. Okay, you think that like the next movie, which is not going to happen next year, it's going to be at least 2 years. Not counting the fact that Michael Keaton may have other fucking projects, if you can even like think of the possibility. Okay, the fact that like a Sinister Six movie wouldn't happen for the next decade. Okay, Michael Keaton is going to
Michael
be in his
Keaton.
fucking 70s.
Hey, Michael Keaton, do you want to be in another $1 billion movie? Sure, here you go. Can you
Ryan,
play,
would you
Vulture
rather
for
him?
30
Would you
seconds?
rather him see?
It's just not.
Would you rather see him as Vulture leading the Sinister Six, or would you rather see him as an old Bruce Wayne training Batman Beyond?
I'm down with either of those, but obviously Batman. So.
Yeah.
Anyway, like you're just not thinking about this in terms of like how real life works. Like
They want to make money, Bryce.
So
there needs to be multiple. Look, they can't be. Oh my God, I can't
Okay,
believe I'm
Bryce.
in this audience. There cannot. They have to have X number of Spider-Man movies every year, every 2 years,
Like
every
every
3
other
years.
year or something.
If they only prioritize the Sinister Six ahead of any other Spider-Man movie. Like, is that what you're thinking? Is that they're going to fast track
Okay.
the Sinister Six?
Is Sinister
then
Six
they need
not
to have
the
a bunch.
end game of a Spider-Man universe?
yeah.
yeah.
Is that what you think is going to happen?
Yeah.
Sony
So-
has all the options, and they would do a Sinister Six before they would do a Maximum Carnage, or by the way, just another fucking like Spider-Man movie.
So
I never said this was going to be next. They're working on Venom 2. They're working on Carnage.
But
They're working on all these other movies. A Sinister Six movie is like the end. It is their Infinity War and Endgame.
Oh, I see. Wow, I wildly disagree.
Okay. I'm going to talk about some money now. Spider-Man made a shitload of money. It's opening 6 days.
This is
Spider-Man is the obviously #1 movie of this past weekend. came out. Let's see. I had the numbers here. Let's see. It is the number one movie over for a Tuesday debut. It made $91 million Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I don't have the specific one day. I can actually look into that. Another $93.6 million for a total of $185 million domestic over Thursday through Sunday. What was the daily? As of right now, it's a 588 worldwide as of recording. Yeah, the Tuesday brought in just shy of 40 million. Wednesday was 27. Thursday was 27. Friday was 32. Saturday is 34. So yeah, huge Tuesday opening. Wow, humongous. 39 million for a Tuesday. That's fucking incredible. Yeah, so production budget of 160 million. So we're already at we're at 12.
Almost 4 times.
Roughly 3 times, yeah, getting close there. So yeah, no surprise. What did Homecoming make? Whoops. What was Homecoming's end? I think it was. Did Homecoming break $1 billion?
Wait, are you talking about the 6 minutes of extra footage?
No, just Spider-Man: Homecoming.
I'm sorry. You said Homecoming.
Final?
I was thinking of.
You were thinking of Endgame.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Yep.
I went and watched it.
Was the 6 minutes worth it?
The Stan Lee memorial extra stuff was probably worth.
Hey, spoiler alert.
Everyone knows that.
Oh yeah, I did know that.
Yeah, whatever.
But
Nobody
I'm
cares
not
about you.
upset.
Okay, I found it. Going back to that earlier point.
Homecoming did 880 total, and I think this is probably going to do about the same, maybe a little bit higher. So,
Speaking of that, the clause states that should Spider-Man Far From Home fail to pass $1 billion, then full control will revert back to Sony.
yeah,
How did Homecoming end up?
880.
Wait, but why would Sony? Like Sony, didn't Sony reach out to Marvel and be like, "Can you help us fix this shit?"
But they've had multiple, almost $1 billion movies now. They've had 3 in a row.
That's what I'm saying. Why would they have
like,
this clause?
So they get full control back. They're like, "Thank you for fluffing us up. Now we're making our own shit."
Oh, what is fluffing, Higgins? I don't know what that means.
I've never heard of it.
Oh Jesus!
So
It has something to do with those hand gestures.
Yeah, it
yeah, it's
So what's Far From Home at right now?
588.
Okay, so you're more than halfway there.
Yeah.
But
After
I mean, you're going to get a third. Tom Holland is under contract to Sony.
yeah.
So you're going to get a third movie, be it from Marvel or from Sony.
Yeah.
no, but he's talking about if this. Your clause is for this one movie, though, right?
Yes, but I'm saying if it fails to pass $1 billion, Sony gets full control to make the third movie on their own with no Marvel.
Okay.
That's
Despite
the worst
all my
idea
nitpicks,
of all time.
after all my nitpicks, I still think this is like the best Spider-Man that we've had. Is that true? Yeah, I basically think that.
Oh, he's the best Spider-Man. Period. Like not even a question.
You mean the best actor?
I like Tobey Maguire in 1 and 2.
I like Tobey Maguire, but Tom Holland's a better Spider-Man.
better Spider-Man, and Peter Parker.
I got a couple questions here. We had a lot of people made some comments. Good stuff. I'm sorry for skipping a few of these. We're going pretty long. John Grosjean said, if Mysterio flying was all an illusion, then why was Mysterio flying up to talk to Peter on the roof?
That's what I said.
Was he really flying?
Apparently, he had drones on his feet, which is ridiculous. He was flying at a 45-degree angle. Fucking physics. That doesn't, no drones on your feet would help you at a 45-degree angle. Thank you, John.
It was feet drones. Pretty sure.
It's bullshit.
He was there. In that scene, he was there. In some of those scenes,
that was my problem with that scene, was that if he's flying up there and then he just sort of do the drones holographically disappear,
one of the
I
drones
guess?
is holding onto the cape, right?
So in general, yes, the drones with the 3D tech cloak themselves.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's what I just have to get over, because it's one thing that his whole circus act was all drones, but then when it's happening all locally, when he's just chilling with Peter Parker, let me just casually float up to the roof, it was okay, so you can and this could be, I mean, to me, this could be just how it is for Mysterio.
I guess so. One of the things that worked really well was the choreography of the attacks that they were planning and speeding it up and that kind of thing. But
that part was great. And
just being able to pilot a drone up that's cloaked, I don't think is outside the realm of possibility on the
Yeah.
fly.
Okay. Yeah. Fair enough. I don't disagree with that. And I absolutely love that they did take, in fairness, a lot of time to show sort of the behind the scenes and how he like has all his different cast members helping with different parts of it. And so when he's like alone on the bridge at the end, it makes perfect sense why he's just in the fishbowl with Edith. And by the way, Edith was a great acronym. And I mean, there was a lot of great moments. I forgot to mention that I was fucking really frustrated, but I let it pass. And Higgins was probably frustrated when he hit his head on the bell twice. How annoyed were you with that?
Well, my kids loved it. They laughed their asses off.
I bet that your toddler. No, they're not toddlers, but
yours are more toddlers than mine.
Yeah, that's true. I was when it happened once, I was like, "Are you fucking kidding?" And then it happened again, and I was like, "Are you fucking kidding me?" No more. But then they didn't do it anymore.
You had already had too much beer and maybe give you a headache.
No. I went to this movie beer free. And then what else? Let's see. So, but those were only the two slapstick moments. I fucking hated. Also, a little, I don't know if it's slapstick or not, when he goes into the bathroom and the woman's like, take your clothes off, and he's like, okay. Like, at first he says no, but then he's like, well, okay, she told me, like, sternly, so I guess I'll take all my clothes off.
He's like in the bar or whatever?
Yeah, it's like the shop
can our German listeners
put on the night
the
monkey
bath
costume.
house?
Yeah.
Bath house? I don't even know. Does that mean bathroom? But anyway, some like stranger says take your clothes off once, and you're like, no, and then she says it twice, and he's like, well, you got a good point. I guess I'll take all my clothes off. Like, what the
blonde black widow? You gotta take her clothes off.
No, that was fucking bullshit.
Bryce,
and then, of course, his arch nemesis walks in and takes a picture of him, and then he orders a drone strike. Like, there was some comedic moments where I was like, okay, Guardians 2, fuck yourself.
I was going to ask how you liked that drone strike scene on the school bus.
I did not like it. I thought that it was fucking...
We all love drone strikes on school buses.
But it was just like Looney Tunes level where like, hey, look out that window over there. And they all...
He jumps out the fucking like skylight and then lands in.
Slow motion.
His hair is tousled, but nobody noticed a thing. Yeah, so that was another fucking
it makes it looking like Tony.
No, Tony was never so buffoonish.
I don't know. Did you watch Iron Man 3?
I've shat a lot on elements of this movie, but I did like a lot of it.
I think you just need to rewatch it.
I do probably need to rewatch it. But there's a lot of the Marvel movies.
Rewatch it.
There's a lot of the Marvel movies that I need to rewatch.
Coming out of it the first time, my brain kind of erased a lot of the negative we brought up in the review here.
That doesn't sound like you at all.
And the more we've talked about it, the more I'm like, yeah, that was annoying. Yeah, that was...
Yeah.
Bryce, if you've never done me a favor in your life, do me this one. Please watch Captain America over again before you watch this.
Wait, were you here when I told you that I bought it and just haven't rewatched
I was sitting still 3 feet away from you.
Like an hour and a half ago.
I had beer goggles on and I couldn't see that far.
But like, walking out of the movie, I was all focused on how much I liked what they did with Mysterio.
Yes.
Scene,
great.
Yes, that totally blinded me.
Like all that stuff is what I took away from this movie, and then I come talk with you fuckers, and now I'm like, God damn it!
Yeah,
I think we found Charlie's suck puppet account because here we go. It's from Joshua. He says, "With the creation of Sword."
Okay, so
do you think this gives us more probability of Galactus, and how soon until we get
what the fuck?
Oh, Galactus is obviously the next villain, the next big MCU villain, no question.
Okay, the next villain,
the next
big bad,
Thanos.
Okay, before
Galactus,
walking into this room this evening, I didn't know that there were so many sequels confirmed. I literally thought that nothing had been announced.
Nothing
except
has
for
been
Eternals.
announced. Nothing has been announced, including Eternals.
Well,
we find out.
Eternals hasn't even been announced.
We found out at
it's
Comic-Con.
been cast.
Guardians 3 has been announced.
No, we found out at Comic-Con.
Guardians 3 has been
Guardians
announced.
3?
Okay, they've talked that all these movies are happening. We have no official announcements of any.
I forgot how
That's
Marvel
true. You don't have a date for it, but they have announced that it's greenlit.
They pretty much announced
They've
it at the end of
announced a
Endgame.
dozen movies have been greenlit.
Yeah.
We know what they are. They have
We
not
just don't know
officially
when.
announced any of them is happening 100%. That will change at Comic-Con. That'll change in a week.
And that's next week?
Yes.
Yeah, especially with those X-Men.
So
movies.
they're gonna don't give me.
We're not
going to
get the X-Men movie
But see,
anytime
you know what I'm real.
They're taking a big break.
I know we're already going long.
I thought so.
The great puzzle piece for me in all of those not announced Marvel movies is the Eternals.
Yeah, that's a weird one.
Because that was not part of the MCU originally.
Oh,
That changes
what?
the entire mythology of everything.
Yeah.
Wait, what? Can you
the Jack
extrapolate?
Kirby comic was not set in the Marvel universe. It was like its own thing.
Oh.
A lot of the theories online is the Eternals is how you get the X-Men into the movies, that they would build
they
them,
created
build them
mutants?
through that. Yeah.
What?
I don't know. That's not in the comics.
Yeah, there was a
don't
weird,
get
wasn't
angry.
there a giant size X-Men about that? Like a special?
What?
You haven't read any fucking X-Men in your fucking life.
Yes, I have.
No. You just hate X-Men.
No, I've read
There's a
some.
difference. Yeah. I didn't know that about the Eternals. I thought, not knowing any of this internet shit, that the Eternals was just a palate cleanser in between phases. And that I didn't even know that we were getting all these...
Again, no, the next Black Widow comes out in February, right? That's all. Again, that will be confirmed in. They're already filming. I mean, that will be confirmed.
But again,
at
that's a
Comic-Con.
prequel.
But we don't know anything.
Black
about it.
Widow
It's a flashback
with ScarJo?
You're
Yeah.
supposed to have what's her the
Love
blonde.
ScarJo.
We don't know who the actress is, though, do we? Oh, who
Is it not ScarJo?
The picture's up.
Oh, we don't
She's
know
in
who
it.
she is.
She's in it.
What Yolandra? Is that her name?
Yelena Belovich?
Yelena, yeah, thank you.
Wait,
yeah,
she's the Black Widow that we're getting?
Yeah. No, I think they're both going to be in it. It's supposed to take place after. It's not like way early. It's supposed to take place after
After she comes out
Age of
it.
Ultron. I think that's what I read.
What?
Between like Age of Ultron and Civil War, something like that.
We'll find out soon.
Yeah.
What is with these? So Wonder Woman, Captain Marvel, apparently Black Widow. Like, what's with these time traveling lady superhero movies? Because has there been a single? It can't be a guy girl thing. Why are all these? Is it just a coincidence? All these female
Captain
superhero movies
America.
are like time traveling.
Captain America.
True, but his origin was from there.
Wonder Woman's origin is in the past. She has time travel there. It
Yeah,
just
but
takes
in her
place.
first movie, it does start in her original time, and then it fast forwards to modern times. Like,
Yeah.
why is she in the 80s?
So it
Why
doesn't-
is Captain Marvel in the 90s?
Because the 80s war fits with the Batman v Superman.
God, the fucking DC universe is the
So
worst.
wait, have we just forgotten about the Inhumans in the MCU? Is that just done?
Oh, the movie.
No, the existence of those characters.
Oh.
Once that show went off the air, is it just?
The
pretend we
Inhuman,
never
again,
mentioned that.
Again, the Inhumans. I'm sorry for like the 7 people listening that are fucking Agents of Shield stands that post in the forum, but fucking Agents of Shield and Inhumans are just they don't count. They're not part of the MCU.
Nothing better has happened to the Marvel universe than the Inhumans TV show shit in the bed, because we haven't had an Inhumans comic that I've had to buy in fucking.
Remember when they tried to make like 19
They
Inhumans comics?
had I have bought so much Inhumans shit, and I'm like, I don't like.
I
the
remember
Inhumans.
that Karnak series by
Warren Ellis.
Warren Ellis.
Oh, okay. I actually like that, but I didn't like how they were shoehorning the Inhumans into like everything else. Inhumans, Avengers, Inhumans, X-Men, drive me crazy.
Death of the Inhuman.
Death of the Inhumans.
Wasn't there the
Actually,
Black Bolt
okay,
series?
Yeah.
Death of the
Black Bolt
Inhumans
series.
was good.
That got nominated for an Eisner. Didn't it win? Did it win?
I have no idea.
It got like. I'm like, how?
Weren't you fucking nominated for an
the
Eisner? What are you like?
se-
I have no idea.
For 7 people that read that, someone voted for it, I'm sure. This question from Wes. He says, what's up with Flash Thompson making a face when his mother doesn't show up to get him? The camera hung on him for a bit like they were hinting at something, but they don't do anything.
Oh, that was also annoying.
I don't remember that at all.
So I get it that Flash is supposed to be this like pompous
Did I fall
guy,
asleep? Did I
but
pull a
like
Toby?
secretly he's like hates his life because his parents don't love him.
Yeah.
Like very
He's an influencer. Of course he hates
It's
his
at
life.
the airport where the limo driver
Yes.
is
Yeah.
waiting
Yeah.
for him.
very big trope
Basically,
about how the
his
popular kid is
parents
actually not
sent
popular.
the car for him. They didn't come for him.
Oh,
Yeah.
boo-hoo.
Wait, so what do you mean? What face did he make? He was
I don't
just.
know.
Well, they
The
were just
camera
trying to do
stayed
the
on the camera
disappointment.
stayed on him
Yeah.
for a few seconds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just to show the disappointment in this
That's what
kid
they
who
just said. I know.
who just survived this thing, and his parents can't even come pick him
I want
up.
to see a child crying. That's what I want.
Wasn't Flash in the scene with Happy and the others hiding out in that museum from the drones?
Yeah.
Where they
Yeah.
have this. Flash was there, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
They were all there. Yeah. Like all the kids were there, right?
No, it was just Happy.
It was
and
just
like
happy.
3
It was
kids.
happy. MJ and Becky and Ned.
Becky. From Tor. I think it's Tor. Far From Home does not feel like a Spider-Man movie. I feel like Peter is not learning the lessons of responsibility. Not to mention both Vulture and now Mysterio are more obsessed with Iron Man than they are Spider-Man. Homecoming and Far From Home
great point.
feel so off and wrong to me. Well,
Yeah, I didn't think of that until
That's take-
right now. That is
they
a
hated
great
Iron Man
point.
until they met Spider-Man. Now they hate Spider-Man.
That is a great point. I love what they did with Mysterio, and I love the fact that they pulled from disparate elements of the Iron Man universe, I guess I kind of want to call it, and Spider-Man's sort of in the way. But that gets back to my other point about, like, why is he still so obsessed with killing 16-year-olds once he's outed as being a
He has
fraud?
to stay in character.
Yeah, great question, whoever wrote that. I don't know either. I have too many nitpicks to not... I mean, I'm struggling to keep this off the bottom of my MCU list.
Oh, it's not the bottom.
It's not the bottom.
Well, I love bottoms.
Okay, next.
Oops, let me go back to it.
I got nothing else.
That's from Brandon. He says, the entire finale, I was hoping Spider-Man would punch Mysterio in the face.
But he did!
Causing his face to fly off, revealing that Marvel had bluffed us and the real villain was Chameleon all along.
Oh. Meh. I was hoping that the real villain all along would be whoever convinced Ryan that DC was better than Marvel. But in the end, I love that we got the fist punch of the fishbowl. That was like, as soon as that happened, that was as cathartic as fuck. That was badass.
Some people think the silent guy there is Chameleon, his like Russian bodyguard guy or whatever the hell he is.
Huh? Who's?
The guy that's driving the bus.
No, he's a Skrull.
Well, but his name is... What is Chameleon's name? Yes.
I don't know. You have the internet in front of you.
You've been fucking Googling. You are literally in front of a supercomputer and you're on your phone typing Chameleon's real name.
Marvel Chameleon, a real face. That's one of the first. Dimitri. Yeah, the guy's name is Dimitri. So people thought, oh, that's supposed to be Chameleon.
That's fucking racist,
it's a
bro.
Skrull
I think
as Chameleon as Dimitri.
No, that's
Well,
racist.
Assuming Bryce is correct, and
Oh God,
some of
please! I don't want to live in that world ever.
That's a sure thing.
some of the scenes with Nick Fury were actually Beck playing Spider-Man. I could see him putting Chameleon there.
Yeah, that is too much. That's going into the whole Higgins Brock thing of this Sinister Six movie is going to be a thing. It's not going to be.
Final comment.
It's a very big stretch.
Final comment from
Yes.
Ulysses.
Hashtag stretch, hashtag Fantastic Four, hashtag what the Marvel Cinematic Universe
Well-
will pour its efforts into, not a Sinister Six movie.
I thought Far From Home was fine, not the best, but Spider-Man 2 remains my number one movie.
Spider-Man 2.
I like Spider-Man 2 a lot.
Like Tobey Maguire with Doc Ock.
Spider-Man, yeah.
Yeah,
Spider-Man
that
2
was fucking
fantastic.
amazing.
Yeah,
It was great. Those first two Spider-Man with Tobey Maguire were great.
Second one, especially. I liked the second one a lot.
The third
Yeah,
one
just like X-Men. It
third one just
took what it
killed it.
had and it got even better.
I think Sam Raimi snuck a little bit of his horror tropes into that, and I really like that element of Doc Ock is like weird, like body gore modification was like that's a cool take on Doc Ock, and I think it worked really well. I wonder if they're hesitant to do Norman Osborn in Green Goblin in these movies just because it's been done.
Yeah, that's
We don't
why
need
they're
to-
not going to do the X-Men for like a fucking decade. It's
Yeah.
because they fucking poisoned the well. And they've absolutely done that with Green Goblin.
With X-Men, I think they're like, we've got to give people like 5 years of no Hugh Jackman because when we recast, people are going to be pissed. We have to give people some time.
Yeah, and they will...
because when they get that Twilight guy that's playing Batman to do Wolverine, the internet's gonna go crazy.
By the way, I'm not upset about that at all, the Robert Pattinson thing.
I'm not
even sure that that's true, but even if it is true, I'm not that upset about it. But anyway, X-Men, I'm going to be super disappointed like whenever it comes around because, as I just said, the well has absolutely been poisoned for all X-Men shit. And there's no way, because like with the X-Men thing, you absolutely, whenever you do it, your Thanos is Dark Phoenix. And they just...
Third time's the charm.
No, exactly. And they've absolutely ruined that. And there can't be like an end of the phase whatever for X-Men without Dark Phoenix, but they've made it so bad.
Here, so we talked about Dark Phoenix. We talked about...
I know, I heard, but for new listeners.
I feel, and I read an article about this, and I actually agree with it 100%. No. The best way to do it, there shouldn't be X-Men movies.
What?
The X-Men are better suited for TV shows.
No, go fuck yourself.
The long form, like soap opera elements of the relationship of this huge cast is just so much better suited for a TV format.
You're just wrong because of budget. The X-Men deserve a movie budget that they would just never get.
Can you have a 20-minute scene in an X-Men movie where they're playing baseball? You could totally have one episode of an X-Men TV show where they're playing baseball.
Yeah, something that you would watch. I would not watch the X-Men play baseball for 20 minutes.
Yeah, you would.
Charlie would.
Shut your mouth.
You would. Is that
Toby would.
Is it on?
Basketball, not baseball.
Well, then I would
basketball for
definitely
Toby.
not watch it because basketball can go fuck itself.
Soccer.
No,
The
fucking
X-Men
Gambit's
X-Men
diving.
playing cricket, he would
Colossus on the
watch.
goal.
The X-Men lend themselves
blob.
to multiple TV series so much better
Yeah.
than
No,
movies.
because it wouldn't get the budget that it deserves. The fucking Avengers got these hundreds of millions of dollar production budgets.
You saw Warner Brothers is putting on a Sandman TV show that's going to have
Okay.
like the biggest budget of anything they've ever had before.
Right.
You know, the Lord
Can we
of the
not
Rings.
talk about the success rate of fucking the Warner Brothers? Like,
The success rate of the DC TV shows, we can absolutely talk about the most successful DC TV shows because they're all ridiculously popular.
Touche.
Yeah,
Yeah, because they're all on one fucking Teeny Bop channel.
What about
all
the Lord
watched
of the
by Teeny
Rings?
Bop lovers?
Lord of the Rings, Amazon's putting $500 million into that show or something. Game of Thrones,
Wait, what?
Ridiculously expensive TV show.
I don't know about this. Amazon is doing Lord of the Rings.
$500 million?
Yep.
Wait, what the
A
fuck?
prequel.
Pretty cool.
Wait, as in
It-
The Hobbit?
No, before The Hobbit.
It is something like
it's a
$500 million.
I don't
right?
think
crazy amount.
The
I don't remember.
Silmarillion is
Yeah.
unfilmable. I don't
know,
think
but
it's that.
A prequel to The Hobbit?
No,
The
No.
history
the Lord of the Rings
of
characters,
Middle Earth,
but in
the history of
long
Middle
ago
Earth
times.
by his son.
Okay, I don't even know what we're talking about here. Maybe this is best taken
There are
off
lots of
air.
very expensive TV shows.
Disney's doing The Mandalorian.
Yeah, they're doing.
I'll believe that when I see it. That motherfucker
They
won't
had
write
tried-
book
they had-
3.
they-
No. Book 3 has been like a fucking decade in the making. That guy's never going to write book 3. And by the way, I've read the first fucking 2 books, and they're incredible.
What are you talking about?
What are you talking about?
I'm thinking of a different thing. The Name of the Wind. What is that? That's not The Mandalorian.
Patrick Winthrop?
No,
Rothfuss.
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 Yeah.
Yes, that's what I'm thinking.
Star
Wise Man's
Wars.
Fear?
Yes.
We're talking about Star Wars.
Yeah, we're talking
What
about
is the fucking Mandalorian?
fucking
Star
Boba
Wars.
Fett.
The Boba Fett TV show.
That's not.
See, the
that's-
problem is for Bryce, if I could just speak for Bryce.
No,
the reason
even
he's
nobody
behind,
can do that.
I
the
give
reason
you,
he's behind is because his commute from the home office to the bathroom is the only time he has to catch up on this stuff.
That's true.
So he's got a year's worth of news stories
That's
stacked
true.
up because he can only consume 5 minutes at a time.
5 minutes.
5 minutes.
like
How long do you
3.
think it takes me to walk down the stairs? It definitely
I'm
takes less
counting
than
your
5
time.
minutes.
I'm counting your time in the John,
Oh, then it's more than 5 minutes. That's
and then
just,
back upstairs.
That makes you a bowelist, I'm pretty sure. That's just wildly bowelist of you. Ballast, that's the thing, right? No? Anybody?
Anyway.
Spider-Man.
Yes.
Probably not. Maybe making $1 billion might be going back to Sony.
Is your letter grade for this an A minus?
maybe because I think that's what
Holy
that's
fuck.
what's Homecoming
Yeah.
was.
You
So
continue your baffling. I don't actually.
I'd say it's right in line with Ant-Man and Wasp.
It's good.
I really need to watch Ant-Man and Wasp a second
So
time.
good.
I
Please
watched
watch
it
Captain
and,
America
and,
first.
and I was like, you know what? Like I liked it almost as much as Ant-Man 1, which I loved.
I love that Ant-Man 1.
But I feel like if I watched Ant-Man 2 again, I would be like,
Actually, Ant-Man and
so-
Wasp was not as good as Ant-Man 1.
Right, that's
I was
what I'm
mostly
saying.
joking. I thought you didn't like those.
I'll say this.
no, I liked them both.
Most of the time when I come to work here on the weekend, like on a Saturday or Sunday,
Yeah.
I always play Ant-Man and then Ant-Man and Wasp. Like, it's just easy. They're
Paul Rudd.
fun. It's Paul Rudd.
Love Paul Rudd, hate Paul Ryan. Okay, so
That's fair.
that's a quote from Higgins. That's not my opinion, or is it? Yes, it is. Okay, so there's a bunch of movies in the Marvel Cinematic Universe that I need to rewatch. Like, put them in the proper order. Now that like it's been book. What was my word from earlier? Book ended. What did I call it?
Bookhorn?
Bookhorn.
Bookhorn.
Horned.
I'll allow it. now that it's all done, even though apparently it's not done, because apparently there's a shit ton of shit I didn't know
Oh, we're
about.
getting to Fantastic Four.
Yeah, it's like 20 more movies.
So you think we're gonna do Fantastic Four before X-Men?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
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 How many movies, if you had to give a very ballpark guess, how many movies does Fantastic Four get? Kevin Sharp.
Well, till we get Fantastic
Kevin
Four
Sharp.
or get or
No.
Fantastic Four
Do
itself?
they, like, Avengers got fucking 20 movies or whatever it is, 15 movies. Kevin Sharp. Fantastic
Huh?
Four.
Avengers got 4.
What?
Avengers got 4.
4 movies.
No, but I'm talking about including the Avengers fucking.
But they're not going to
related
make
movies.
they're not going to make a Human Torch solo movie.
Yeah.
Okay, true. So maybe that informs your opinion, you fucking motherfucker. So
I'm going to say 2 FF movies, just them, and then the third one will be Galactus or some giant team up.
So-
Do we
you
actually
think-
not
whoa,
get
whoa, whoa,
more
hold on.
Avengers? Does Fantastic Four become the team movie?
will you fucking wait your turn? I'm trying to moderate here. I'm the moderator of this
that
mini
never
segment.
works properly,
Kevin
Bryce.
Sharp, 2 movies and a Galactus movie.
I say 2 FF only movies, and then the third one will be something like Infinity War with a bunch of characters.
Okay, 3 total movies, possible filler in between of random shit. Fair enough. Charlie, for you.
If you're going to start counting the filler, I'm going to say 6. Meaning, I think you'll have
Okay, yeah,
at least 3 standalone FF movies,
I get what you're
but I
saying.
think you'll also see them in other things.
Okay, so separate from filler, you think 3?
3.
Higgins?
I think Kevin's right. I think there'll be 4 movies called Fantastic Four. 2 will be solo.
4 movies called Fantastic Four.
And 2 will be a 2-parter dealing with the Galactus, just like Avengers.
So we'll get
So,
Fantastic Four, then we'll get Fantastic Four, name something, then we'll get Fantastic Four, name something, and so on and so forth.
Yeah, the coming of Galactus. And,
So
and-
Avengers got 4. You think Fantastic Four will get 4?
Yeah, I think.
But with
I think
less
it'll be,
filler.
I think it'll be the new Fantastic Four or the new Avengers.
Well, there's already new Avengers.
With
and
a
it was-
giant asterisk that I have no idea what they're doing with the Eternals.
Yeah, but that's the whole point of this fucking exercise.
I know.
Brock, what do you think?
The end of the Eternals is the start of Fantastic Four.
Okay, so answer the
I
question.
think FF1 is. I think FF is the last movie in Phase 4.
Wait, are we in Phase 4? What's happening here?
Spider-Man was the last of Phase 3.
Yeah.
Oh, Eternals is the last movie of Phase 4? What's the fucking
Fantastic
first movie?
Four will be the last movie of Phase 4. That's my guess.
okay.
Because the
So
amount
Brock,
of movies in a phase. have
Okay,
gotten
Brock, what
bigger
is
and
your
bigger.
what is your answer? What is your answer? Fantastic Four.
I mean, 2 to 3 seems like a good number.
2, 3. Tobias, will you weigh in? Because you're 100% Hoppa, and I love Hoppas.
I'm actually completely with Charlie. 2 Fantastic Four movies. The rest is going to be Avengers movies, which are the team-up movies.
So we don't think. Okay, so the
Are
general
you talking about
consensus.
how many movies completely, or how many?
Yeah, like
Fantastic Four?
quasi-separate
there'll
questions.
be another thing.
Well, I think-
No. I know. I'm just saying, like, my question is Fantastic Four movies. So the general
I think
consensus
2
is
Fantastic Four
2, and then a third movie, which may or may not be broken into 2 parts,
Yeah.
with filler Avengers in between. I'm wondering if we get anything other than Avengers filler in between.
Oh yeah.
My original question is just the Fantastic Four, but now I'm also wondering
No, we're going to get a bunch of
what
other.
other filler.
We're going to
things
get
are-
Keanu Reeves as Moon Knight.
Yeah,
We're
the
gonna get-
movies that are happening,
Moon Knight, we've talked a
100%
bunch of times
happening.
on the show. I think is better suited to
The-
TV
the
show.
movies that are-
you don't need an X-Men budget for.
I mean, Black Widow is happening. Eternals is happening. Again, things could happen and the movies could not come out. But as of right now, the things that they've cast and talked about, Doctor Strange 2, Captain Marvel 2, Black Panther 2, Guardians 3, Spider-Man
Black Panther
3. Well, of course, but that's going to be down the road
guarantee
a
it.
little bit. Oh, sure. And
mark my words.
And
I
Captain
guarantee
Marvel. And Captain Marvel 3.
3, yeah.
And Ant-Man and Wasp 3. Eternals, Shang-Chi, Black Widow, or those are the new movies.
So Shang-Chi,
and
I can't believe
Fantastic
this is.
Four.
I haven't heard of this either.
And I would think Fantastic Four is the end of Phase 4.
Okay, I like that.
Like, was that 8 movies? I think that sounds right.
That
If
is
they do break up
absolutely crazy.
Galactus into 2 movies, I'm going to say there's going to be a Silver Surfer movie between them.
That'd be nice. Well,
I
the first
think
one would basically be the Silver Surfer movie.
I
right?
think they're breaking Galactus.
Well, you
into,
bring
like,
Silver Surfer
20
and like
years.
the coming of Galactus in like the first movie, then
Not
you do
20,
a spin-off.
But
Yeah.
10. He's Thanos. 10 years.
Yeah. No, this time they're going to stretch it out 20 years. We're going to be like 60 or 70 by the time we watch this. Just mark my words on that too.
So, all right, you don't think that like this whole like they split this Thanos movie into 2 parts? If they do the exact same thing with not the exact same thing, but you know what I mean. Like if they do the same pattern with Galactus, it's going to be a little too on the nose.
No, it's profitable. it
Well,
works.
the problem with splitting Galactus into 2 movies is the same thing you had with the Infinity War and Endgame.
What about for Brock,
Either
though?
stuff had to go on concurrently, or it had to be prequels. Like,
Yeah.
what do you do between a Part 1 Galactus movie and a Part 2 without...
Eternals. Silver Surfer. Or
That's what I'm saying. You do
Any
prequels.
endless
What was his name?
flashback.
The silent one. What was his name? The fucking what was that first Herald's name? The fucking the something
Mog?
one. The
Morg?
fucking the forgotten one. No.
Sounds right.
Oh, there's somebody screaming into their
Flamehead?
headphones,
The
and it's
pretty
probably
one.
Tyler Willits. What?
It's the pretty one.
Nova.
No, that's your movie. No,
do we
what?
get a Nova movie?
No.
A lot of talk. I'll talk of a Nova movie. We'll see.
Yeah, in your fucking echo chamber. Nobody else.
I have been like firm no chance. People are like, no, what's happening? It's basically confirmed. And I'm
Okay,
like,
we've talked a lot. Can we talk about how great Umbrella Academy was? Have we talked about this?
It's the best thing of all time.
Since you are a Patreon subscriber, you could hear the After Dark episode.
I have listened to it, but for new listeners,
you cannot, because Ryan never posted it.
did he not?
Is that true?
I posted the other one.
He never posted it.
1
You
month.
posted the
Titans one.
Okay, well, there's an Umbrella Academy episode in the can
That's been in the can for
since it was on.
I think
Yeah.
6 months now.
That's appropriate for time
No.
travel material. Spoiler for Umbrella Academy. Have we already talked about how great Umbrella Academy was?
No.
some of
Have
us
any of you watched it?
Yeah, it's good.
Some of us have, but you'll never hear it.
It was
Put it up. I'll put it up.
It was great. I mean, like, I fell off the CW stuff a long time ago, and I really want to watch Legion. I just haven't, like, I mean, if it's not on Netflix or YouTube TV, then I just haven't seen it. But fucking Umbrella Academy was
final
amazing.
season of Legion just started.
Oh, they're already finishing it?
Yep.
Has it remained good?
Yeah. No,
But to Brock.
it's only 3 seasons, and I'm pretty sure
I
they
haven't
went.
watched it.
We're going to count the 3rd season as a final season for sure, because with the Disney Fox deal,
merger, everything's
I'm sure they were not sure they would get to do anymore, so they just.
I see. So it got Jessica Jones. I was shocked when there was... Wait, so there's a 3rd season of Jessica Jones that just dropped, right?
Yeah.
Is it any good? I have not watched it at all.
I enjoyed it, but
Well,
still not as good as the first season.
You know what was better than the first season was any other Netflix Marvel movie or TV show.
It was
Okay, touche.
it was an interesting sort of.
Season 2 of Jessica Jones was legitimately good.
Have you watched any of the DC ones?
This is joys of not wanting to spoil stuff. It makes it
Titans,
really
Doom
hard to
Patrol.
talk sometimes.
On Netflix?
No. Oh, that's right. He doesn't have that.
So
Bryce Larsen subscribing to something that starts with DC. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, go fuck yourself.
Comicbook.com wants to know, did Spider-Man Far From Home set up the arrival of Kraven the Hunter?
I don't... Why? Yeah. Clickbait. Why would you even say that? That sounds like something that would be in my
now
Apple
they have-
What
News
kind of
feed.
thing was they're smoking?
So the only thing I can figure is now that Spider-Man is seen as a menace,
You'll get somebody who...
Craven would be a
That is
very
the-
easy.
Yeah, but that's the most ridiculous, tenuous bullshit that they could have had. Like, Craven's whole fucking impetus for any plot that he could ever be in is like, oh, I am a man that loves to hunt things. What is the
Yes.
most hard thing to hunt? It is this man a spider. I will hunt him.
But it's a lot
By the way,
easier.
can I just
I think
say,
we'd cast our Craven.
I don't even know. Hollywood, I'm still available. I didn't know that I could do such a good accent, but
seriously need
apparently I just
people
blew
in the
myself
Facebook
away.
group to Photoshop that coat of Craven's on.
I could probably keep going. Mr. Higgins, get off your Marvel puzzle quest. The questing of Marvel puzzles is ridiculous. Stop, you are on mid-podcast.
I'm just
Wow,
waiting.
I'm actually not bad.
I can't wait till you have to bulk up for this role, and
What
then
do
we
you
can
mean
finally
I
have.
need to bulk up?
Well-
I'm a bulky motherfucker.
We'll get you to bulk up for the role, and then you'll finally arm wrestle Greg Capullo.
Yeah.
First of all, I only
gonna
ever
tell him
said
his face
Indian
with his
leg
boxy
wrestling.
hands?
And while he is yoked as fuck, I've never seen his legs. Greg Capullo, shots fired. Just kidding, they're not. But I could definitely Indian leg wrestle any of you motherfuckers. So
Did you see his bottle challenge?
I don't know what that means.
Oh, okay. I'll show you later.
Does it mean drinking beers from bottles? Because I could probably
No,
hang with him.
you haven't seen the videos going around? Oh, never mind. You're not on the internet.
He's not on the internet.
Never mind.
I believe that it's fantastic, and
Yeah,
I
it's
believe
quite
that.
fantastic.
I mean, look, he's a yoked motherfucker, and he draws sometimes very well, and sometimes he draws rectangle fingers.
Can I do a random movie pick since Michael Keaton came up earlier today?
Sure.
All right. I want to recommend...
Welcome to the podcast.
Yeah.
It'll be 3 hours in.
I want to recommend American Assassin. I was not quite on board with the Michael Keaton for Bruce Wayne in the Batman Beyond movie because I was kind of hoping Clint Eastwood would do it, which I think
Hell
now it's
no.
not going to happen.
No, definitely not.
Well, this was also
like- that's
20 years
Sinister Six
ago when
movie.
I was
What's
hoping
that
for.
gift from Gran Turismo where he's like just on your lawn?
But anyways, I really, really want to see Michael Keaton as Batman also. American
Batman,
Assassin.
Batman and Robin.
American
Or
Assassin
Returns.
is pretty much a Batman movie with Batman and multiple Robins, so I highly recommend it.
Cool. American Assassin.
Yeah,
Nice.
Very cool.
Who's actually in it?
Michael Keaton and Taylor Kitsch and Another kid.
And it's directed by Clint Eastwood?
No.
What was that whole Clint Eastwood thing?
Originally, you wanted him to be old Bruce Wayne.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So I just
Also
got it. Yeah.
You guys didn't like any of the comedic things in Spider-Man. I kind of enjoyed them all because I thought it was a kind of a nice 80s
the worst.
homage. It was kind of war game-ish at that point.
His head hitting the bell.
It was a kind of vacation, whatever that movie is called-ish.
National Lampoon.
Yeah.
You liked the National Lampoon of
Yeah.
Spider-Man?
Yeah.
Well, I disagree.
I do.
No, I Toby, you are correct. It
course
had
I am.
The references, the 80s references to those movies with going European Vacation and all that, the little bit of humor. It was fun. It was great. My kids loved all that little stuff.
Toby, you
we're
and
old and
you
jaded.
He just compared me to one of
yeah,
his kids.
you and Brock's 5-year-old
thanks,
were on the
Brock.
same level.
Yeah.
What a compliment.
Nice. Thank you,
You
Brock.
liked it. My kids liked it. I liked it. Like it.
That's not
All
helping.
right, whatever.
One of my friends
Or
wished.
his kids are just that smart.
One of my friends wished that
most likely.
Spider-Man was a little more quippy in his fights, but that's kind of
That's a Seth thing.
yeah.
I like
But
that he was so awkward around girls. That part I did like. I have to like.
Even the emo girl.
I actually
he-
like the emos and the
Yeah, why? I mean, like
She's
Mary
an
Jane. That is
awkward
so not
teenager.
Mary Jane, though.
yeah, but she feels more like a teenager than any Mary Jane that we had
You are
before.
right that she is a modern day teenager, possibly.
Yeah.
but like she's
Possibly.
well, because I don't know fucking teenage girls now, but like she's named
That's a
like
good thing.
MJ.
She was never a teenager in the comic books, was she?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, when they
Mary?
shoot, yeah,
No,
her
no,
first
what?
appearance, she was
No,
she was
Gwen
young.
Stacy. Mary Jane wasn't her first appearance.
No,
the
she
the
was-
You Got Lucky Tiger.
Yeah.
She was a fucking adult.
Yeah.
No.
Oh,
What's her first appearance?
No, she's the girl next door.
okay.
She's always been the girl
next
next door.
face until the tiger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, convenient. I never saw her face. Well,
Because
What
because-
age
because it's the
was
ugly
she when
duckling
they
syndrome.
introduced
She was
her? Do
maybe
we know?
18 or I mean in that panel, like she's not. She's they're young. Peter Parker's still young in that.
wait. So you hit the jackpot tiger. She was 18.
I don't remember.
They're young. She's young. I mean, they're both young.
I
in
mean,
that.
the thing with the
He has his own apartment. Like he's not
No,
18.
like the Ditko one where she first, it's them trying to, Aunt May and Mary Jane's mom or aunt or whatever, trying to set them up together.
Because Gwen's been
Face it, Tiger.
Gwen's been
You
dead
cannot
for-
tell me how old she was.
Is that when he's in college?
Yeah,
Did
I
he
think
already
it's censored.
graduate at that point?
That's when, that Steve Ditko is drawing that
Yeah.
first Mary Jane appearance.
Yeah,
And
so
I
that's
think,
still early.
I don't think Ditko was on it when
No.
Peter went to college.
Yeah,
I
so
think
he's
that's
still in high
Romita.
school. Yeah, he's still young. They're still young there.
I just
Wait, isn't
don't-
he in his own apartment?
No,
No, I don't think so for that.
No, wasn't he above this garage?
I think he's in. I think his.
Well, she feels young in this excellent
Look,
comic book
yeah.
called Mary Jane Loves Spider-Man.
Fair enough.
that is good.
My point is, I always thought that Mary Jane, because she showed up like 20 years after the origin of Spider-Man. When did she show up?
Like 5 years.
No, that's fake news.
No, she's always
Yeah, what's her
she's
first,
always been in
I
the,
don't remember what her first
in the
appearance
thing.
is.
It's just Gwen was the one that he was going after.
Spider-Man came out in like 1808. Just kidding. I just thought that she came way later. I thought that he was with
Yeah.
Gwen Stacy for
No,
like a.
her first appearance of Spider-Man issue 25.
What?
The face of Tiger was Spider-Man 42. That's I mean, he wasn't.
Wow,
it wasn't
okay,
that
all
late.
right.
It was early.
All right. Okay. Well, I'm
I
not
didn't
wrong,
think she
but
was in
if I were
high school
if I were a
anymore
person
when
that was
she-
ever
When
wrong,
does
I would say that I was
Gwen?
wrong.
Gwen is
Gwen's also in the Ditko era.
yeah.
Still same time.
But the Gwen that people think of with like the headband and the go-go
That's later.
boots, and that's
Yes.
Romita. That's the
later.
college years.
Okay.
Okay, I mostly correctly, but a little bit incorrectly, thought that Gwen Stacy was the first like 2 decades, and Mary Jane took over after that.
No.
So I may or may not have been slightly wrong about that, aka totally wrong, aka not wrong. at
I
all.
guess they were trying to do a Betty and Veronica.
Yeah.
Is that what they were trying to do?
In college, though. That
Okay.
wasn't the
Yeah.
case when he was in high school.
High school. Okay.
Yeah, Peter was not quite the ladies' man that he becomes later in life. He was
He's
not
always
really.
been good.
I don't know. What I liked about this movie was that he's never a ladies' man, and he wasn't in this movie. I liked that. I like everything about like Tom Holland's character. I like how they sort of stole from Miles Morales and the Ultimate Spider-Man his friend with Chubby Ned. Like that's an Ultimate Spider-Man thing, right?
Yeah.
So I like that. Like there was a lot of elements that I liked that I didn't give enough lip service to, but there was just so many nitpicks that I had that I was just like, oh Jesus Christ! Like, yeah. The blip was also like an awkward story beat to reconcile.
Yeah, but no matter what they tried to do
Right,
it. It was going to be
Yep,
awkward.
Yeah. Yep. That's true.
Well, do you know what we do not nitpick about? That is our lovely Patreon backers at patreon.com/comic-conspiracy, including Julian Titus at the Nerds Without Pants podcast.
Toby.
That's at pixelbit.com. Our good friend Sam Che. Craig Anderson at craigpanderson.com. Bryce, you're a professional.
Yeah, that's nobody's ever said otherwise.
Would you like to be an even better professional and learn all the things you're doing wrong and how to become so much better and to move up in your chosen career, your chosen field, whatever it may be?
I would like that.
You're Mike Chandler, by the way.
And does that mean that we're going to will they or won't they?
Whenever people ask what Bryce does, I'm like, I have no idea. I just have no clue.
Are you referencing Friends?
Yes, I am referencing. Oh, soon to be on HBO.
You mean my job?
Oh,
absolutely.
Because
haven't I
Chandler's
explained
the
that?
only one that works?
No, because he has a job and
nobody knows what he
do.
does. He does the data entry that nobody knows.
Haven't I explained
We've done
this,
a whole episode on what he does.
Yeah, haven't I explained this many
still don't
times
know?
over?
One ear out the other. Totally don't
Well,
know.
that's your own fault.
Yeah, what the fuck do you do for a living? Wait.
You sit on Twitter.
But Craig P. Anderson, whatever you do, Bryce, Craig P. Anderson at craigpanderson.com
He's gonna make you better.
can make you much better at your position.
He also refers
That would be
himself as future
tough,
Bryce.
Craig, because he's future Bryce. So,
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that I evolve into him, which is some
He
mysterious
actually
time
does
travel
go
shit.
in front of clients going, "Hi, I'm Greg. I'm the future Bryce Larsen."
I would. He's probably better off for it. He probably gets more clients that way.
Yeah.
Joe Duff, thank you, Joe, for your continued patronage, as well as Andrew Nelson Mendez over at the Recovery of an Anime Junkie podcast, and Ryan Marling. He's at TinyCC /Ornery Duke. He does Pokemon unboxing videos on YouTube. He's looking for some subscribers.
Oh, my
Go
son will
sub
be
him.
a subscriber,
What
which
kind
is a
of
weird thing to
Pokemon
say.
unboxing?
Cards.
The cards.
Shows all the hot new cards to all
What?
the kids. Unboxing videos. You ever heard of them? Think
Yeah.
Brock does?
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, Brock does fake ones.
Yeah,
but-
that's true.
Yeah.
No,
But-
sometimes I do real ones.
Wait, you
I might sign up for this guy.
someone
'Cause my
orders
son
Pokemon cards
legitimately
and
watches
talks
it.
about it.
Do you
Tiny-
unbox Pokemon cards?
Tiny.cc
No, that's all my son cares about.
/Ornery Duke. Yeah. Well, I mean, lots of people do.
My son is fucking
making
obsessed
progress.
with unboxing. I don't understand it at all. But my son loves watching people open shit. I don't
Does he want
understand
you
it
to
at all.
buy? Does he want you to buy that shit afterwards, or is he content watching somebody else do it?
I mean, yes, he does, but he's wanted me to buy him Pokemon cards since before he started watching those videos.
We also have to thank Dennis Jansen,
Oh.
Alex McHale.
Oh, it's Dennis
Janssen.
from the Netherlands. By the way, how awesome are people from the Netherlands after that scene in Spider-Man?
Yeah.
As soon as I saw how they were all super nice, I was like, yeah, I've never been to those, but I bet that's how nice they all are.
I bet
And sure
David-
enough, they all were, because it was in the movie, so it must be real.
I bet David Baroldi is a very nice man, as well as Don Kilson, Mark Long, Stephen Sepia, that sounds right, Ivan Leskanik, Brian Moreski, Miles Gakula, Bryce Larsen quotes, he's a very nice man.
Love that guy. That guy.
Have fun tomorrow, dude.
Yeah.
I didn't say anything crazy today.
It might be tonight. He might not sleep.
Well,
Paula
Or
Schultz,
she.
Oh,
Or
he's
she.
gonna
Or she. We don't know.
it's
gonna
probably
all-night
one
this
of you
thing.
motherfuckers.
Joseph Rodriguez, Jack Ildefonso, Christopher Noyes, and you guys are all watching the.
Oh, Chris, how about those soccer games, Super Soccer Sunday, where the men continue to disappoint and the women continue to impress?
David Safar, Brian Wyckoff,
Red Hat Man.
Joe Cachadorian, writer of Identity Stunt comic book. Go check it out. They got a second volume coming out soon. PJ Ryder, Josh Elliott, Tyler Willits, Rob Ben Dixon, Travis Fleischman, Tim Martin, Amy Foster, Mason Barber, Anirban Banerjee, Robert Lane, Andrew Nikovich, Brendan McGowan, Timothy
This sounds
R.
like a lot of new names.
Chris, a couple of them in here. Chris Lockhart, Aaron Wright, Father Dante, Alex Young, Chris Palaki, Chris Olivis, List of the Living Dead, Chris Bunch, Edgar Moreno, and Andrew Couchier. Thank you guys all very much for your continued
Thank you, everyone.
patronage over at patreon.com/comic-conspiracy. Don't forget to go to comicspiracypodcast.com, geekbox.net, and Apple Podcast to find all our previous episodes. Use that Apple Podcast app, no longer iTunes. Rate and review us if you can. I heard that helps people finding us. Toby's looking up something. I'll keep reading here for a second. YouTube.com/comicsconspiracy. If you're into watching unboxing videos and ways to slowly become a Nazi, you can go over to the Comic Conspiracy Podcast and watch us on YouTube.
What's this about Nazis?
Wait, what?
Have you ever been on YouTube?
What?
You just eventually watch like pro-Nazi videos on YouTube. That's just how it works.
What the
What
fuck?
kind of YouTube videos do you watch?
Yeah, what the fuck are you talking about?
We're on white YouTube, Toby. It's all Nazi
different.
stuff.
It's different.
Different than your YouTube.
Is that like an inside joke? What's happening?
I think you just insulted everybody.
Are you familiar with YouTube?
Yeah.
YouTube's the worst.
Do you know YouTube is like a horrible breeding ground for like
I think the
alt-right
algorithm made me
and-
just fine too. I just get a bunch of camera
I
stuff.
honestly did not know that. How many YouTube
Yeah.
videos in a row do you have to I watched like one.
I don't, like apparently it's like
I didn't
3,
even get that scary
so.
mama
Well,
person thingy.
I'm 2 away.
Momo.
Oh,
or
Momo, it's not
whatever
Mama.
it is. I don't know
I
what
haven't
it
even
is.
gotten that. I'm still waiting for that to happen.
It'll get to you.
It's a super dark turn
We'll
for
get
the end
to
of the episode.
The Comic Conspiracy at Geekbox.news, where you can send your long form questions, which you should read 5 to 7 years later. For the time being, digital.comicsconspiracy.biz. Pick up some digital comics from us. Goes away at the end of August, so not too much longer.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
What have I missed?
Oh, you missed
How long
a
have I been
lot.
gone?
Yeah, you missed quite a bit, dude.
Comicsconspiracy.biz.
Even I knew about
But
that
for
one.
the new listeners,
It's where you can pick up all your physical comic books, and we've been testing our back issues. It's starting soon. We're going to put all our back issues
fuck my life.
on the website.
Wait, have you found my
God
hidden
damn it.
comics yet?
Hidden comics.
Yeah. Wait, so
the ones he paid for.
no, not the ones I pay for, the ones I hide.
Were you the customer that came in and said, "Hey, your sales this weekend? Cool. Okay, well, I'll be back for those comics I stuck in the front of that box." And I'm like, "What? Wait, what?"
Well, that was not me. But that's you for being on Twitter. That serves you right.
Bryce, last episode we read an email question that had not been opened since 2013. That's when the person sent it in.
No.
I have a lot
Wait,
of old
I wasn't
emails.
on there. It couldn't have possibly been Bryce Fan Mail.
That person's probably no
hate
longer
mail.
listening to us at all.
Toby, it sounds like you have a question or something you want to promote.
Well, I have nothing to promote, but we're going somewhere in a week or two.
Yeah, would you like to tell us where?
I think if the name has not changed at this bar, it's called the Odyssey. It's going to be at the Hilton Bayfront. If you guys came last year, wait, I didn't even set up. I didn't set it up correctly. Me and you are going to Comic-Con.
Yeah. Hey, Kevin.
And Kevin. Last year we had a unofficial meetup at the Hilton Bayfront bar. I think this year we have to make it a official meetup because one of the real members is coming at KU. So Thursday evening.
Thursday evening.
Time to be determined.
Yeah, 7:30ish.
Yeah,
something
that's
around
what we did last year.
Yeah.
So
7:30.
pay attention to the Facebook.
Yeah,
group.
so
You should probably post that.
I
because
will. I'll
However
post
many
this.
people are still listening at this point?
No, we'll talk about it next week. There's one more week,
Yeah,
right? There's one more
yeah.
week. Okay, Hilton Bayfront, the Odyssey. If the name has not changed, it is the bar.
Of course,
on the second floor.
San Diego, California, San Diego Comic Convention.
Yeah.
you're there
Well,
for
if you want to
SDCC.
show up at any other Comic Con at the same time, we'll totally
they're
just
they're
video you in. That's totally
They're
fine
like
too.
Ohio. They're like, I'm at the Bayfront. Where the hell are they?
Florida.
I've done that before. Yeah, I went to.
No, probably not a lot of bays in Ohio.
I went to the Voodoo Lounge instead of the Buddha Lounge and showed. I was like, "Where are you guys? We're at the bar. Trust me, there's 4 people at the bar. You guys are not at this bar." That has happened.
Please go to conspiratorbrock.com. That's Brock's blog. Video pull list and unboxing videos are located over there. You can go check out what Brock's doing. Wanderers in the Fourth Dimension podcast. Charlie wandered right out of here.
He did. He has other podcasts to do.
No, he fucking ghosted like I don't know.
No, he has other podcasts to do. He was checking his time the
quality
entire
in
time.
the Far From Home movie.
He's starting to stress. Did you realize
Yes,
that?
to
He's,
record.
as we're getting really long here,
Wander
he started
in
to
the
stress.
fourth
He was like, "Oh shit, I gotta go."
And of course, Etsy.com/shop/Leanne Hill Art. If you were going to D23, we can talk about this now. If you're going to be at D23, Leanne's one of her art pieces is going to be officially at D23. She entered a contest for the Haunted Mansion's 50th anniversary and was a finalist. So she's going to have her art officially at that Disney convention on display. So very, very cool.
Wow, at least one of you is successful.
Tell me about it. Ryan Higgins, Ryan, that is myself on Twitter. If you just love those spicy political memes, just go over there.
Oh, Jesus.
Brock
Ryan.
is Brock Sager.
Hey Ryan, when are you gonna be sick again?
Or am I going to be sick again?
That happens regularly.
I don't know.
Right after
It
the
used to happen quite regularly.
Yeah, quite regularly. What happened?
My surgery.
What, did you change your
now
diet?
I'm fine. A little bit, but mostly the surgery.
Maybe you should go to your old diet again.
Why?
Well,
Because the people are clamoring for a 0.5.
The only time. Oh! I thought you meant the only time that you check Twitter is when you work here, like once a year.
Oh, yeah, that's maybe like once every 2 years now. No,
If I went, okay,
You know, you guys can record an episode together whenever you want.
that's ridiculous.
You know, our
we
Patreon.
always want to do it when you're sick.
You know, our
is
Patreon
the point of
extra like backer stuff has been woefully
because you're really good about
inadequate
posting
recently.
them.
Yeah, you're really good at that.
Yeah, it has been woeful. You're right.
Larsen Bryce on Twitter, although.
Okay, tonight and or soon, I will check my Twitter. I promise.
Toby is Toby XI. Charlie's Insanity and Chaos. That Kevin Sharp is Kevin Sharp.
By the way, Kevin Sharp
Store.
with the handsome, rugged man beard now.
Yeah, he's been.
And a button. Well, actually,
I
we're
want to
button
come
a
back
lot.
to Bryce Larsen rocking the sharp jawline, stubble, Don Johnson,
That's-
Miami Vice look.
Thank you very much, but that's been
Where
for
is this
years.
pink shirt?
Bryce has said that this is as far as it can go.
What?
Yeah, I haven't shaved
tops
in
out
years.
there?
Oh, you must.
Yeah.
You must be part Asian then.
It's been years. Well, my wife is.
I like the bald spot on the side.
Yeah, it's patchy. It's because I'm from Scandinavia. Well, genetically.
And please listen to the Geekbox Comedy Button, Manga Nations, and Infinite Binge. Go check those guys out as well.
What's the infinite binge?
Ryan, could you grow a beard if you wanted to?
Yeah,
you
yeah,
used to have a beard, right?
I mean,
Wait,
I
remember
facial
that.
hair.
Was that Evil Ryan time?
No, that was Evil Ryan.
No, that was Charlie. Charlie was Evil Charlie.
Charlie was
No, Ryan. Remember Ryan's beard?
I grew
Beard, full on beard? No.
I've grown
No way.
facial hair out.
Yes.
Not a beard.
Yes.
I don't
not
believe
I want to say 3 or 4 years ago.
No.
Was it just a couple stubbles?
no,
he
it's
didn't
the
grow a beard.
Kevin's.
Was it just
He
a
didn't grow
stubble?
a beard. It was after his surgery. He just didn't shave.
Yeah, I didn't shave for like a couple
Was it
months.
just
No.
patches?
I bet you.
Like, it was.
I bet you had a booty tickler and that was it.
No, it was not Brock size. It was.
I like his Brock-sized beard.
That's what she said.
Can we
We're
just
going
sign
into
off?
some new
We
territory
should just
here.
sign off.
It was
Yeah.
approaching Kevin, but I trimmed it. But I trimmed it. So
What are we even talking about now?
Your inadequacy.
What are we
of growing
measuring
beard
here?
hair.
It's
Yeah.
not Brock size.
Yeah. it's
Brock
not-
says this is beastly.
if it's not Brock size, it can only get bigger.
so.
It's not Brock size. It's
But yeah,
Charlie
I'm not a facial hair man.
Oh.
I shave a couple times a week. I've never been into facial hair.
Anyway, can
It
we
drives
fucking...
him. It's hilarious to watch him.
I think it's beer time.
Who would have guessed that the Far From Home episode would go 3 hours? I'm actually surprised.
Are you? Why?
Have you been on any other movie episode ever?
No, but
Have you been on any episode Bryce has
Yeah,
been on?
That's the.
It was not me. I was a pawn. I was part of Mysterio's illusion. I'm going to disappear now and
But
go drink some beer.
We
We
did
used-
Dark Phoenix and other topics, and it was
but
less
Dark
than 3
Phoenix we
hours.
barely talked about. Dark
Umbrella Academy. How good Umbrella Academy?
Oh, let's talk about Umbrella Academy.
By the way,
man.
if you have Netflix and you
show
haven't
is
watched Umbrella
so
Academy,
good. Ryan thought I was
cut it
going to
out.
hate it, but